Chapter 3776. A figure like a mountain, pulled out from the sea of blood by the chain of Tianjia. Everyone was scared to death for a time. Don't you? Boom, boom. It is not only the sea of blood, but the chain of thunder breaks through the earth and penetrates into the earth outside the sea of blood. The earth is torn and bones are pulled out of the soil. At that moment, even the powerful demons and beasts around the Tianjia were numb and dare not move. They let the thunder chain drag those corpses into the disaster. A skeleton is bound by the chain of Tianjia, and the endless force of thunder is injected into the skeleton. On those bones, thunder runes appear, and their own runes are activated. Ho! Suddenly, a skeleton roared up to the sky, and the sound of bird song sounded, shaking the sky. I saw its bone wings open, and there was an endless flow of flame, which ignited the sky. It even woke up under the call of the force of thunder. It's the Taigu Shenhuang clan, the supreme level, Tianjiao exclaimed. Although the ancient beast had no power of qi and blood, it was still recognized by its thunder rune and breath. Hu, the god Huang wakes up, opens her mouth, and spews out endless thunder mixed with flames, and rushes to kill the strong men who fight against the robbery. However, as soon as the flame from the goddess Huang flew out, it turned into a Taoist rune and flew straight to Huolinger. At this time, Huolinger was reciting the great Buddhist scripture, and the power of fire between heaven and earth would be absorbed by her. Boom! Even so, the thunder from the god Huang still made several supreme Tianjiao fly out, and the monster strong man they protected turned into fly ash in an instant. Roar! After the recovery of Shenhuang, a number of ancient monsters came back to life. They roared up to the sky and roared for 9 days. With endless killing intention, they rushed to the strong people on the scene. How could that happen? At that moment, looking at the endless skeletons, even the most powerful were afraid. This is their ancestors, they should fight against their ancestors. The first way to open the sky, the dragon dust stopped drinking, and the Ming Hong Dao penetrated the head of an ancient monster, and the violent force shattered the crystal nucleus in its brain. Bang! As Longshan expected, the crystal core is the source of power for the ancient monsters. When the crystal nucleus collapses, the corpse of the ancient monster will explode and turn into powder, and the endless thunder rune will be broken. What a pure force of thunder! Lei Linger exclaimed, that archaic monster was killed, the power of thunder scattered. After she absorbed it, suddenly felt that the power was soaring wildly. You continue to make a lot of money in silence. The Kuntu Yamu giant and the beast Xiao should stay away from them. Don't be found by them. Long Chen is still a little worried and tells Lei Linger again. If Lei Linger doesn't get close to them, they can hardly find him. Now, Lei Linger turns into hundreds of millions of thunder dragons and hides in the void. These people's broken runes are secretly absorbed by them and obtained without any effort, which is more efficient than his own swallowing. All of a sudden, a thunder sword roared from Long Chen's heart, and Long Chen instinctively hid from him. The thunder sword passed through the void close to his body. Boom! The sword of thunder blows out a big hole in the void. There are 2 monsters, the supreme level Tianjiao, who can't escape and are directly swallowed by the big hole. They scream in horror and want to get out of the black hole. But when the void is closed, their figures disappear. For a moment, everyone is scared. At this moment, the giant beast that sent out the thunder sword stepped into the void and killed the dragon dust. The giant beast was wrapped by thunder and looked like a hedgehog, but it had 2 heads. Because it had no flesh and blood, it was difficult to see what kind of creature it was. But the blow just now was too terrible. Not good. When he saw the hedgehog rush, his body expanded rapidly, and Long Chen's face suddenly changed. The thunder wings appeared behind him, and he cut it out with a knife. At the same time, the man quickly regressed. Boom! The dragon dust cuts the hedgehog with a knife, and the hedgehog bursts into pieces. Its spines, like a spear, shoot away in all directions. Hide quickly, some people yelled in horror, but tens of thousands of spears were flying indiscriminately, so they couldn't escape at all. What's more, there were other Archean monsters around them. Boom boom. The thunder spear is surging. I don't know how many strong people have been hit and turned into fly ash in an instant. Even ordinary supreme level Tianjiao is vulnerable to a blow in front of it. Not only the supreme Tianjiao was hit, but also the archaic monsters were also hit by the spears, which sent them flying backward. Even a few archaic monsters were directly pierced into their heads by the spears, and were smashed and killed directly. When those monsters are killed, not only are endless thunder runes scattered, but also broken blood runes scattered, and sometimes complete runes can be seen. When there is a complete rune, the strong people of the Demon Beast clan are crazy, fighting and even fighting with their lives. You should know that the blood runes are all the original magical powers of the gods and beasts. If you master them, they have infinite potential. Even if they can't be absorbed, they can be depicted in the soul. Through the runes, we can peep into the secrets of ancient divinity. Even if you don't get any benefits, if you go out in the future and depict the rune, it's priceless. You can sell it to the races you can use, or you can directly exchange the runes you need. So, these runes, for them, are priceless, making them crazy and forgetting the threat of death. These ancestors have been under the control of the scourge. The 6 relatives do not recognize them. We try to kill them and seize runes. Someone took the lead in shouting. However, people can only hear the voice, but they don't see who is calling. In the confusion, people think that it is the strong people of the Demon Beast clan who shout, but they don't know that it is Wang Tingao who is hiding in the dark. Wang Tingao is very insidious. He is the body of thunder. Like Lei Linger, in the natural calamity, his whole body is covered with thunder, hidden in the void, and he is also making money in a dull voice. He also calls out a few words from time to time to boost the morale of the Demon Beast clan. As 2 peas, he deliberately changed his voice, even the soul fluctuated, and he was just like the monster. He was confident that he could hide anyone. Unfortunately, what he doesn't know is that he has been discovered by Jiang Lei for a long time, and even if Jiang Lei can't find him, he can't hide from Lei Linger. However, it has to be said that the strong of the Demon Beast clan are not willing to give orders or talk more. With his reminding, these strong men suddenly have a rising sense of war. They regard inheritance runes as more important than life. If they get several inheritance runes, even if they are not of their own clan, they can exchange their own runes with other clans in the future. Kill, the monsters roared, one by one, their chi and blood were ignited, and they would never make any reservation again. They fought these horrible ancient monsters crazily. Long Chen holds the Ming Hong sword, the god ring behind him is opened, and the 6-star god of war opens. At this time, he is also in a crisis. He is surrounded by hundreds of archaic monsters and resists them crazily. However, Long Chen finds that these archaic monsters are not so fierce when they attack others. They are just like crazy to attack him, even if they want to explode themselves, they will die with him. Long Chen feels bad in his heart. It seems that he has played too much this time and can't stop it. What's more, Long Chen finds that Kunta's breath is improving wildly. This disaster is obviously more beneficial to him. You can't go on like this. You'll die in the hands of Kunpeng Boy. He'll teach you a set of magic power of swallowing the sky and eating the earth, so as to get through the present difficulties first. All of a sudden, in the mind of Long Chen, came the voice of the strong dragon clan. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3777. When he heard the voice of the strong man of the dragon clan, Long Chen was overjoyed. However, after hearing this, he felt a little chilly in his heart. You said I would die in Kunta's hands? Long Chen couldn't believe his ears. Although he never thought he was invincible, he was confident that he could defeat any strong man of the same rank. This is not conceit, but self-confidence gained from endless struggle. The strong dragon clan said that Long Chen would die in Kunta's hands, which immediately aroused Long Chen's fighting heart. If I said yes, would you go to Kunta to fight hard now? The strong of the dragon race. I don't believe he'll lose to him. Long Chen looks at the Kuntu in the distance, and his fighting spirit rises in his eyes. Now you fight with him, half a dozen. Whoever lives or dies depends on the better luck. But after a while, as he keeps absorbing the blood essence here to stimulate his body, his strength will multiply, and you? What do you get? The strong dragon asked. This. Long Chen was surprised, and he noticed that when the thunder poured into his body, it seemed that there was no obvious improvement on his physical body. Originally, Long Chen thought that the strength of the natural calamity is not enough now, and it should be better in the future. But after being reminded by the strong dragon people, he seems to have found a problem. Before you passed the robbery, although the Tianjia wanted to kill you, it still gave you certain benefits. This is the rule of the Tianba, and even the Tianba can't be changed. Even if it is the natural calamity of the dragon people or the Kunpeng people, it is different from your present one. Your present natural calamity only has the power of destruction, not the power of nourishment. So, you don't have to think about the next disaster, you will get benefits, because your disaster has completely changed. When you say that you want to overthrow the world and create a world of your own, it is doomed that you will never get any benefits in the disaster, and the disaster will only try to kill you. The strong of the dragon race. I don't understand. I've said the same thing before. Why hasn't the natural calamity changed, but now it has? Long Chen hears in the clouds. Because you didn't have that strength before, Tianjia won't pay attention to you, but now it's different. You are contaminated with too many causes and effects, and you begin to have the strength against the sky. Tianjia begins to be afraid of you, so you will be targeted. Even if you have completed the robbery now, you will only break through the realm at most, instead of relying on the strength of thunder to remold your body like before. Others are making great progress, but you are still standing still. I said you would die in the hands of Kunpeng boy. Are you convinced? The strong of the dragon race. Long Chen's heart is sinking. If it is true that the strong man of the dragon clan said he won't get any benefits in the natural calamity, under the ebb and flow, he may indeed die in the disaster. We dragon people, Kunpeng people, and some chaotic strong families all have the will to go against the sky. We just go against the sky to break through the constraints of law and order and be free from justice. Therefore, although our natural calamity is terrible, we are doomed to die, but no matter how strong it is, as long as we can survive it, we will usher in a rebirth and the strength will soar. But you are different now. What you want is not to be free from justice or to be above the law. You want to destroy it and rebuild your own order and law. Now, you have been listed in the list of necromancer. Tianjia will use all its power to kill you. Because of this, the natural calamity of the Kunpeng clan will be devoured by your natural calamity, and the remains of the demon beast clan will be used by the natural calamity, and there will be more serious natural calamities in the future. Although your Lei Ling can get great harvest, no matter how strong her strength is, it is also an external force. Therefore, you have to make good use of it now. The strong of the dragon race. Thank you so much, Master. Long Chen didn't expect that things would evolve to this level, and Kuntu was not promoted in the natural calamity, but Kuntu was making rapid progress. He must not be Kuntu's opponent. After all, Long Chen didn't dare to summon the 7-star battle body because he didn't dare to summon the 7-star battle body. He was afraid that his body could not bear it. Originally hoped that in the disaster, once again strengthen the flesh body, only then has the cohesive 7-star battle body foundation, but now's change lets the dragon dust to panic. I don't know whether this move will work or not, but now that you're burning your eyebrows, you can only look at the present moment. I'm going to pass on your magic power of swallowing heaven and eating earth. The strong of the dragon race. The earth I will. Dragon dust suddenly flashed in his brain, and Longu Evil Moon had taught him. It's just skin. It really swallows heaven and earth. It doesn't need to swallow the target into its stomach. Don't make any noise. It's too late. The strong man of the dragon nationality was impatient and his voice was obviously a little urgent. Long Chen listened with an open mind. Suddenly, his hands were covered with dragon scales, and his hands were continuously printed. With his seal, the golden mist all over his body rose, and a huge dragon-shaped pattern was formed behind him. It was a 5-clawed golden dragon. The big mouth of the golden dragon slowly opened, and the world collapsed, forming a vortex of tens of thousands of miles. At that moment, the violent energy in the heaven and earth, like a long whale absorbing water, was swallowed up by the dragon mouth. Click, click. At the moment when the golden dragon devours the power of heaven and earth, the body of dragon dust crackles, and endless energy rushes into the body of dragon dust, as if to burst the body of dragon dust. The power of thunder, the power of blood essence, the power of blood soul, and all kinds of rune fragments were inhaled into the body of dragon dust. It seemed that there was a debris flow in the body of dragon dust, and the violent power rushed to all parts of the body. The green veins on the skin of dragon dust burst, and the endless strength was transpiration. Master, is this really okay? These forces will pollute my dragon blood. Dragon dust was shocked. At this time, we can't care so much. It's important to protect our lives first. As for the impurities, you'll see in a moment the strong of the dragon race. Boom! The violent power poured into the body of dragon dust, and the flesh of dragon dust felt a sharp pain. These violent forces did not nourish the body at all, but seemed to destroy him. Dragon dust in a hurry to run the real dragon blood essence, while those beneficial to the body of the force absorption will be harmful forces out. It's stupid. You ruined the pure blood essence. Longchen, I think highly of you. You are an idiot. Seeing that dragon dust has absorbed the power of heaven and earth, Kun Tu's face is ugly. Although he looked down on Longchen, he was very interested in the real dragon essence blood of Longchen. In this world, only the real dragon essence blood was worth swallowing. The dragon dust devours the power here. In this way, the blood essence of the real dragon is integrated into the breath of 1 billion animal statues. The real dragon blood essence is polluted and can no longer be swallowed up. Kun Tu has the most pure Kunping blood. Naturally, he won't swallow any blood. He just needs to absorb the power of thunder to keep refining his body. So when he saw the dragon dust devouring these disordered blood vessels, he was surprised, angry, and heartache. He had already regarded the essence of Longchen's body as his treasure. Boom! All of a sudden, there was an explosion in the body of dragon dust, and the violent force of qi and blood rose, just like lava eruption. Endless power flowed in the body of dragon dust. The flesh of dragon dust became stronger and stronger madly. The breath shook the space and the pressure became more and more terrifying, which scared everyone. Roar! All of a sudden, the archaic monsters in heaven and earth roared in unison. Their shriveled eyes even gave out a strange light. Originally, they were just a group of corpses, but now they are endowed with souls. Dragon dust, give me back my life. All of a sudden, an archaic monster even spits out human words and kills the dragon dust. Its claws pierce through the void and is filled with resentment. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3778. The monster said something and scared everyone. Although they were terrible, they were just a corpse driven by the disaster. But now, the ancient monster seems to have been given life. Fierce gas startled the sky, with endless resentment, killing the dragon dust, as if to see the enemy of his father. A corpse for a soul? Longchen was shocked. He saw a virtual figure on the head of the ancient monster, which seemed to be the original god of a man. He was angry and rushed to the world to look at him and see the breath of the man. He should be a powerful and supreme god. The corpse of the Archean monster fused with his spirit, and all the runes on the bones lit up, and they killed the dragon dust with the breath of destroying heaven and earth. At that moment, other people were also shocked. This phenomenon, even in historical books, has not been recorded. It's so weird. It was a cow-like creature, flying with 4 hooves and shining with 2 horns. It was like a meteor across the sky, and it was in front of the dragon dust in an instant. Longchen saw the cow-like creature rushing towards him, and the veins on his arms sprang up like a snake crawling all over the place. He absorbed so much strange blood essence. His strength was climbing wildly, and Minghong's sword suddenly fell. Boom! A shocking explosion, shaking the whole world. Kacha, the ox horn of the ox-shaped creature, which was hundreds of miles long, was chopped up by the dragon dust, and the huge creature was knocked over in the air. What a powerful force! Long Chen was shocked. He didn't expect that his strength had increased to this extent. Can you imagine my dragon's power of swallowing heaven and eating earth? Integrating so many demon blood essence, although it pollutes the dragon blood, it can increase your strength by more than 10 times in a short time. The dragon blood strong person arrogantly way. Boom! When dragon dust was about to reply, there was a loud noise, and the terrible force came. The dragon dust was lifted directly, and the ox-shaped creature exploded. What disappeared with the ox-like creature was the spirit of the supreme Tianjiao. Under the power of the natural calamity, he integrated with the Archean monster and was able to control the skeleton. He knew that he was dead, and the natural calamity gave him the opportunity of revenge. Seeing that he could not kill Longchen, he directly exploded and wanted to cause more damage to Longchen. Boom! At this time, one after another of the archaic monsters were given the soul, their breath changed, and they had consciousness. They just had consciousness, they roared to kill the dragon dust. It's just a group of undead. Why should I be afraid of dragon dust? Long Chen holds a long sword, feels the endless power in his body, and his fighting spirit soars to the sky. Boom boom. Ming Hong Dao roars, a knife falls into the sky, a head of archaic monster is cut over by dragon dust, and some archaic monster are killed by dragon dust. At this time, Long Chen's body began to expand. His arms and thighs were twice as thick as usual. He waved his hands and lifted his feet. His qi and blood were surging. It seemed that he had endless strength. Especially after killing those monsters, Long Chen absorbed more blood essence, and his body was constantly strengthening. His furious qi and blood made him feel a little uncomfortable, but his huge power made him feel like a master of all kinds of things. Long Chen is more and more brave in the war, and his blood is soaring to the sky. Let those ancient monsters kill him, one knife at a time, and his courage is unstoppable. Dragon dust absorbs blood essence, Lei Linger absorbs thunder, and Huolinger absorbs the rune of flame between heaven and earth. They are all striving to improve. Boom! Suddenly, the void split, a pair of wings opened the sky, countless Archean monsters were shocked by the wings, some Archean monsters burst into pieces, turned into thunderbolt runes all over the sky. Kunde, people exclaimed. Kunde suddenly broke out, his wings like a knife, crazy to kill those ancient monsters. Bang! Kunte's sharp claws stretched out and directly tore up an Archean monster. When Kunte made a move, people were shocked. It seemed that it took no effort to kill the terrifying Archean monster. Kunte killed a large number of ancient monsters. Even those possessed by the supreme Tianjiao were also killed. The killing speed was even faster than that of Longchen, but he did not fight against Longchen. Kunte made a move, and everyone was shocked by his terrorist power, but soon, someone reacted. Boom! The first one to do it was the beast Xiao. He roared and showed a vision. In the vision, there were countless beasts roaring, with wings on the back, claws on both hands, horns on the top of the head and fangs on the mouth. What's most frightening is that a tail with sharp spines appeared behind his buttocks. At the same time, there are places on his body long hair, some places grow scales, and some places grow strange bone spines. After transformation, he becomes an unknown creature. He let out a roar, the sound like a tiger like a lion, the violent sound wave swept the sky, the wings behind him trembled, like a flash of lightning on an Archean monster. Boom! Suddenly he opened his mouth, and a red light pierced the head of the Archean monster like a sword. The beast was killed and turned into a rune. The beast Xiao trembled, and all the runes on the ancient monster, whether it was blood essence rune, thunder rune or inheritance rune, were absorbed by him. When the beast repair a hand, all of a sudden, everyone realized that they were going to rob the ancient monster. Although the Archean monsters are terrifying, they are full of treasures. Killing them can quickly improve themselves. Although today's Archean monsters look endless and claim to be 1 billion, if they don't take the initiative, they will eventually be taken away by Longchen and Kuntu. This kind of natural calamity has never appeared in history. Even if you think about it with your butt, you know how terrible it is. As long as you can survive the disaster today, they will surely shine in the world in the future. This is the only chance to change their lives' fate, which can't be missed. After the beast was repaired, Yamu Giant also gave it up. His black breath twined around his body. The rune of the warhammer in his hand flowed. His body swelled a whole circle. In the twinkling of an eye, 3 Archean monsters were killed by him. Seeing that Kuntu and others no longer hide their strength, other strong men also burst out one after another. For a time, everyone roared at the sky, trying to kill Archean monsters and absorbing the energy of heaven and earth. As they expected, the more Archean creatures they killed, the more energy they absorbed, and the stronger people they were. No matter whether they were the monsters or the strong ones of other races, they all fell into madness. Puff, puff. A thunder sword appeared quietly, like a ghost flash. A head of archaic monster was killed mysteriously, thunder rune was swallowed, but no one saw the figure of that man. Get out of my way. I'm going to kill Long Chen. Don't force me to. The soul of a powerful monster is attached to the ancient monster and kills the dragon dust. Poof, as a result, he just flew out, but was killed by the supreme level Tianjiao of his clan. Asshole, kill your own people, so don't blame me. There is an attached Archean monster roaring, killing another monster clan strong. For a time the scene is chaotic. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3779. Originally, those possessed archaic monsters only wanted to kill the dragon dust. The heaven gave them the obsession to kill the dragon dust. And just after they were killed, the spirit was captured by the way of heaven, and they could retain their complete consciousness for a while. They want to kill the dragon dust, but the strong ones of the demon beast clan want to kill them and seize the power of thunder and blood essence, which completely enrages them. These ancient monsters begin to attack with no recognition. Anyone who dares to stop them killing dragon dust will welcome their all-out fight. For a time, the scene was extremely chaotic. In order to fight for the power of thunder and blood essence, everyone was crazy. Because every time they absorbed the power of an Archean monster, their own strength was increasing. Such a terrible opportunity to improve might be only once in a lifetime, and they could not let go. The dragon dust holds the Minghong sword. The divine ring rotates and the star sea vibrates. The endless qi and blood are ignited. Numerous strange lines appear on the Minghong sword. These lines are the runes in the ancient monsters absorbed by the dragon dust. After being absorbed by the dragon dust, they are all transferred to its body. Boom boom. The endless power of Minghong sword surges wildly, as if falling into a state of madness. The breath of this killing god soldier is more and more terrifying. It is like a demon who has been sealed for hundreds of millions of years. If you want to break the seal and cut it off, there must be an ancient fierce beast killed. Long Chen himself was shocked. He absorbed the essence of the ancient monster, and the benefits of Minghong Dao were even greater than that of him. The runes he absorbed could not be branded in his blood, because no matter how much blood essence dragon dust absorbed, the golden dragon blood was less than 1,000th of all the blood essence, but the dragon blood still occupied a dominant position. For example, the commander-in-chief of the army was irresistible. Those runes were forced out of the body and into the Minghong Dao. Instead of rejecting these runes, Minghong Dao did not reject them. On the contrary, there were dense lines on the blade, which were all fragments of runes inherited by the ancient monster family. By absorbing these runes, Minghong Dao changed dramatically and its killing atmosphere became more and more intense. Minghong Dao is getting stronger and stronger, and Long Chen is also madly absorbing the power of thunder and blood essence. It was originally Long Chen who was fighting alone, but now there are countless joining in. Although the individual strength of these minions was not strong, they could not hold them. They formed a huge team. Under the control of dragon blood, the huge team formed a terrifying force, which even Long Chen felt shocked. And as time went on, the team continued to expand and become more and more powerful. Gradually, Long Chen felt that his body began to ache. Long Chen could not control such a team because these teams were not obedient. The stronger they were, the more difficult it was to control them. Rei Ling Er, give me some strength. Long Chen had to turn to Lei Linger for help. Lei Linger agreed, and the force of thunder poured into the blood of dragon dust, helping the dragon dust to restrain these blood essence and destroy their own attached will. In this way, the will of these blood essence rebellion is not so high. The war continued, and with each sword of dragon dust, those archaic monsters who rushed to the dragon dust were killed one after another. In the distance, Kunta's wings were flapping and tearing the sky and the ground. Those archaic monsters were smashed into pieces, and the killing speed was no slower than that of Long Chen. Similarly, his breath became stronger and more terrifying, and it seemed more and more easy to kill those ancient monsters. Meanwhile, Yamu Giant, Beast Repair Strong Man and other Tianjiao people all opened fire and slaughtered the Archean monsters crazily. This is a real battlefield for the survival of the fittest. The strong ones are getting stronger and stronger when they kill Archean monsters, while the weak ones know that killing them will bring endless benefits. However, due to the lack of combat power, they can only support them, and they are killed by them. Tens of thousands of supreme-level Tianjiao. Now there are only more than 3,000 people left. There is a great gap between the strength of the supreme-level strong. Now the remaining people are the real strong ones. With their crazy killing, the original boundless Archean monsters gradually see the end of the team, which shows that the Archean monsters are rapidly decreasing. Boss, I'm afraid there will be only 2 waves of this natural calamity. Shall we go ahead and kill Kuntu? Jiang Lei looks at the cloud of Jiyun, which is gradually darkening over the 9 days, and preaches to the dragon dust. Jiang Lei is not far behind Long Chen, so they have a care for each other. He doesn't know how many Archean monsters he has killed. Moreover, because he is close to Long Chen, he swallows a lot of thunder runes scattered after some of the monsters killed by Long Chen burst to pieces. Today, every inch of his skin is covered with thunder symbols. His body has been tempered to the extent that he can't imagine. Even he has confidence to join the domain artifact. He feels unprecedented strength and has unprecedented confidence. Now the sky is dark, and there are signs of gradual disappearance. Jiang Lei immediately thinks that after the robbery, he will be besieged by monsters. It's better to take advantage of the fact that before the end of the disaster, it's better to start first, and then to face those god worshippers in the periphery. Tianjia can't be 2 waves, which is not in line with the law of heaven. Although the laws of heaven are different and the places are strange, and the natural disasters have changed, according to my experience, there should be another wave. Don't be careless and save your physical strength. Long Chen said in a deep voice that he never saw the change of the cloud of robbery when he was crossing the robbery. He only believed in his own intuition. Another wave? Jiang Lei is startled. If there is another wave, it must be stronger than this one. Now, many of them have begun to do their best in this wave. When the next wave comes, can't they die? Boom. Many people seem to hold the same idea as Jiang Lei. They think that there are only 2 groups of the Tianjia. Seeing that there are not many Archean monsters left, they even have the strength to eat milk. They should try their best to get more benefits before the end of the disaster. At this time, the void is dark. A huge figure rushed to the dragon dust. People were shocked. That man was Kuntu. Long Chen, it's almost time. You can die. Kuntu stopped drinking, and the vision behind it opened up, and the giant Kuan reappeared. When the giant Kuan appeared, those archaic monsters around Kuntu exploded, and were crushed by the breath of Kuntu. What? For a time, no matter whether it was the demon beast or the strong people of other races, they all looked frightened. Kuntu crushed the archaic monster just by his vision. Before the end of the natural calamity, his breath was more than 10 times higher than before. The speed of promotion was too terrible. Long Chen was also shocked. Kuntu's breath was quite different from that before. No wonder the strong dragon clan said that he would die in Kuntu's hands. Fortunately, he has also been greatly promoted. Otherwise, he would not be his opponent. If it was a normal robbery, he would not get much benefit. It's almost time? No, it's still a lot to go. It's naive of you to think that this is the end of the disaster. The dragon dust shakes his head. At this time, the cloud of robbery over the 9 days has slowly disappeared, And there are still thousands of Archean monsters left between the heaven and the earth, and they are all killed. However, people's faces were startled by the fact that the Archean monsters were finally killed, but they did not get promoted to fairyland. At this time, the water of the blood sea fell rapidly, and the boundless and endless blood sea disappeared in a breathing time, revealing the dry seabed. Boom! The earth trembled, and people saw that on the seabed there was an endless thunder flickering. Then the seabed cracked, and all the pillars of thunder rose into the sky, and the whole world became a prison of thunder. When the seabed broke open, all the figures covered with thunder flew out of the ground. As soon as these figures appeared, the pupil of Long Chen shrank into the tip of a needle. The last natural calamity is the descendant of 9 stars. www. Ninefold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3781 by 1. They could not see their faces or their costumes. They were all wrapped up in the thunder symbol. However, the towering war spirit on their bodies made Wandao start to cry. 1, 2, 3. The rumors are true. They are the descendants of the 39th star? When they saw the thunder figures, inside and outside the Tianjie, countless people were shocked. 3,000 people respect 1 billion animals. How strong are these 3,000 people? This disaster is the ultimate disaster. There is a supreme level Tianjiao face panic tunnel. This has not yet done. They have been the invincible will of the 9-star descendant to the pressure of confidence. The 9-star descendant, known as the most powerful soldier in 9 days and 10 places, did not see what it looked like at the beginning of the war. However, in the same level war, 3,000 versus 1 billion, how great the difference was in number, but they all ended up in the end. The horror of the 9-star descendants was beyond their imagination. Although they have killed archaic monsters, they know that their flesh and blood have disappeared, their runes have decayed, and they can't even use the most basic magical powers, and their strength is less than 1% of that before they were alive. If it was the real archaic monster coming, one person could almost destroy them. And it was this kind of terror that was destroyed by the 39th star descendant group. So when they saw these thunder figures, they were in despair. Looking at the column of thunder around, here has formed a cage. The cage is equivalent to a fighting field. It is obvious that the natural calamity is to trap them. They did not want to let them survive the robbery successfully. Boom! All of a sudden, the whole world trembled, and the 9-star descendants glowed on their foreheads. As soon as the rune appeared, the body of the 9-star descendant trembled and rose to the sky with boundless killing intention. Kill! A 9-star descendant roared, his body shook, and went straight to a demon beast clan strong man to kill. Boom! The strong man of the demon beast clan had been prepared, holding a huge shield in front of him. With a loud noise, the body of the 9-star descendant and the demon beast clan's strong man shook at the same time, and stepped back several steps in succession. The 9-star descendant is just like this. All the first soldiers in the 9 days are blown out. I will die. The most powerful person of the demon beast clan, with his own strength, saw a strike and the 9-star descendant to fight for an equal share. Suddenly, his confidence was greatly increased, his whole body blood burst, and his human shield was integrated into one, just like a meteor, so he bumped into the 9-star descendant without any skill. I know, don't be afraid. The body of the 9 stars has disappeared, leaving only the mental will to be copied by the heavenly way. Therefore, their bodies are made up of thunderbolt symbols, which are the most pure thunder essence, and we kill them. Someone yelled in the crowd. The one who yelled was not someone else, but Wang Tinglao, but now he disguised himself as a powerful monster, and others could not recognize him. After his warning, people suddenly realized that the 9-star descendants could not see their faces. As Wang Tinglao said, they had no body and no bones left. The way of heaven copied their breath, but could not copy their flesh and blood power. Therefore, the 9-star descendants were not as strong as they thought. 7-star battle body, open. When the 7 stars appeared, the majestic breath shattered the space. In the flying debris of space, the descendants of the 9 stars punched out. Boom! The powerful monster who rushed to him, even with his shield, was smashed into pieces by one blow. The shield has a long history. Those ancient monsters could not shake the shield, but the shield was smashed by one blow. Originally, a group of people wanted to rush over and imagine killing the 9-star descendant just as they had done before and absorb their energy. Now they are stupid. Kill, one by one, the 9-star followers roared and killed the strong ones on the scene. However, there were more than 3,000 9-star followers, only hundreds of them moved, and the others trembled and seemed to be struggling. Quick, kill them before they all wake up, or everyone will die. Wang Tinghao yelled, the first to kill out, a sword to a 9-star descendant. Bang! When the 9-star descendant punched out, Wang Tinghao turned a corner. He didn't know what body method he used to avoid the blow. In his hand, the thunder sword was cut on the back of the 9-star descendant's head. Bang! With a dull sound, a piece of the head of the 9-star descendant was cut off, but he did not die. He returned with a fist. Boom! Wang Tinghao was hit by a fist, like a meteor, and hit the thunder column in the distance, sending out a thunderbolt. However, Wang Tinghao was not hurt. He suddenly moved and ran straight to the gap between the two pillars. As long as he passed through the two pillars, he could escape from the arena. Bang! As a result, as soon as he moved, he was bounced back by the force of terror. Moreover, he flew back to the battlefield faster than being hit by a fist by the 9-star descendant. His action proved that if he didn't eliminate the 9-star descendant, everyone here would die. Just as Long Chen was shocked, a 9-star descendant opened his 7-star battle body and killed Long Chen. Long Chen did not dare to neglect him. He also opened up the divine ring and the battle body, and Ming Hongdao cut down with all his strength. Boom! With a startling explosion, Dragon Dust was shocked and his chi and blood surged. You can't help but feel shocked. You know, the 9-star body master's formula pays most attention to the power of the body. They all have no physical body. The way of heaven just replicates their bodies with the force of thunder and integrates them into their fighting will. They have such terrible power. Boom boom. Long Chen repeatedly blocked several attacks, and his arm was numb. Long Chen could not imagine how strong they were when they were alive. Offended, Long Chen continued to fight a number of moves, Ming Hongdao, and hit the heart of the 9-star descendant. With a bang, the endless thunder symbol flickered, and Lei Linger saw it and devoured those thunder runes crazily. When Thunder Dragon didn't get used to Thunder Dragon's body, he felt that Lei Linger's face was not absorbed by Lei's body. Brother Long Chen, what's the matter? Lei Linger was shocked. Lei Ling's son, you put the absorbed power on the body quick. Long Chen is busy. When Lei Linger heard the words, he immediately separated the power he had just absorbed from his father. At this time, the uncomfortable feeling of dragon dust disappeared. At this time, Kunta also started, but unlike Long Chen, he was besieged by 3 9-star followers, one of whom hit him on the back with a mouthful of blood, and there was no more calm. In the same way, Yamu Giant, Wang Tinghao, Beast Repair Strong People and others also encountered a life and death crisis. They were beaten by the descendants of the 9 stars to vomit blood and retreat again and again, while other strong people were even more. Suddenly, one of those motionless descendants of the 9 stars suddenly moved. However, he did not go out to kill people like others, but looked up at the sky. Can you use the proud 9-star pulse? Give it to me, the 9-star descendant roared, and the 7 stars spread behind him. With his hands open, a 7-star pattern appeared on each palm. His arms were powerful and the void roared. There was also a pair of big hands above the 9 days. There was a crack between the 2 hands. The crack extended to the top of the 9 days and seemed to tear the 9 days apart. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3781 Boom. 9 days above, 2 big hands emerge, 7 stars flow on the palm, heaven and earth are shaking under that pair of palms. These hands, like the hands of God, dominate the world. Even the disaster is shaking uneasily. With the strength of both hands, the sky is torn into a huge gap. Click, click. The prison-like column of thunder began to click, as if consciously resisting the power of the hands, the two in a standoff. The scene is unbelievable. Boom! Suddenly, there was a thunderbolt, and the thunder prison that covered the heaven and earth collapsed and turned into an endless sea of thunder. The vision of the disaster was torn up by those big hands. Who dares to enslave the great nine-star pulse? Who gave you the courage? The nine-star descendant roared up to the sky and roared through the eternal sky and the shackles of time and space, as if in dialogue with the past and roaring at the future. Poof! At this time, Kuntu was besieged with blood again. At this time, he was besieged by 6 nine-star successors. He resisted with all his strength and was still killed in a mess. Kuntu finally understood why the nine-star descendants could defeat 1 billion with 3,000 under the same cultivation. They were all real fierce men. However, Kuntu was also fierce enough to break out with all his strength, replacing injuries with wounds and fighting with his life. He specially attacked the chest position of the nine-star descendant, killed more than 10 people in a row, absorbed the thunder of the nine-star descendant, and his breath was still soaring wildly. Longchen was also in crisis. At this time, he was covered with blood and killed 27 nine-star descendants. He himself was black and blue. To Longchen's horror, these nine-star descendants don't need any weapons. Whenever they attack with their hands or feet, they will appear 7-star patterns on their hands and feet. With the blessing of the 7-star map, they directly but against Longchen's Minghong Dao with bare hands. Each time, the dragon dust tiger's mouth cracks and blood flows. The most uncomfortable thing for Longchen is that he has a fierce battle with these nine-star descendants. Every time he collides, the thunder force of the other party will invade his body. When the force of thunder enters his body, the blood of dragon dust seems to be drenched with hot oil, which makes his pain hard to stop. If it wasn't for Longchen's rich experience in fighting and Lei Linger helping him absorb the thunder power that invades his body, he would have been killed. Master, what to do? Is there any way for me to be promoted or I will be killed? Looking at Kuntu fighting and absorbing the power of thunder, the strength is growing rapidly, called Longchen. However, the strong man of the dragon clan seems to have disappeared at this time, and there is no response from him. What scares Longchen the most is that the nine-star descendant, who has the mind and tears the sky with his bare hands, suddenly looks at him. At that moment, Longchen's hair explodes, as if he is being watched by the savage beast. Who, all of a sudden, the strong man disappeared. When he appeared again, he was in front of the dragon dust. 7 stars on his big hand flowed around and caught him. Longchen cuts off with a knife, but the long sword is firmly grasped by the big hand. The man's palm is like a knife and goes straight to Longchen's chest. Poof! The whole body of dragon dust is covered with scales, but in front of that big hand, it looks so vulnerable, and the palm directly penetrates the body of dragon dust. Boss! Jiang Lei is shocked and roars at this side and kills him. As a result, the 9-star descendant kicks him. Jiang Lei is hundreds of miles away from the man, but he is kicked by an invisible force. Jiang Lei snorts like a meteor across the sky and bumps into the ground. The earth is hit by a big hole, and people are directly covered by the soil. The dragon dust was frightened and angry, and the black rune in his eyes flashed. He was about to start the purgatory eye. The alien of the 9 stars? The wrong skill? Frail flesh? The 9 stars have changed. I've been hunted down like a prey? All of a sudden, the 9-star descendant opened his mouth, but his voice was echoing in Longchen's mind, not from his soul. The voice seemed to come from the Fengfu star of Longchen. Ah! The 9-star descendant sent out a thunderous roar, and his violent killing intention soared into the sky. His violent power, together with other 9-star successors and Kuntu, all rocked away. How could that happen? How could this happen? The 9-star descendant seems to have fallen into madness. Longchen was shocked by his violent power, and his body was almost broken. But Longchen did not use the eyes of purgatory. He felt a sense of closeness. Since this person recognized his identity, he would not hurt him. All of a sudden, the body of the 9-star descendant was shocked and murmured, So it is, so it is. You are the same as the 9 stars. You won't embarrass me, will you? Long Chen asked tentatively. He did not speak, but communicated with him with the power of his soul, because the identity of the 9-star descendant is still not visible. The 9-star descendant slowly released his hand, and Long Chen's body was out of his control. However, the palm of the 9-star descendant pierced a big hole in his chest, which was very frightening. More. Dragon dust just want to thank. Suddenly around countless figures appear, all are 9-star descendants. They open their hands, everyone's hands out of a thunder sword. Puff, puff. Countless thunder swords pierce the body of dragon dust at the same time. Dragon dust becomes a hedgehog in an instant. Even if he was as powerful as dragon dust and was stabbed by so many thunder swords, he also gave a scream of pain, because the force of thunder poured into his body, and his blood essence began to burn. That kind of pain had never been experienced by Longchen. Lei Linger is in the body of dragon dust. He helps him absorb the power of thunder. However, the power of thunder is too violent. Lei Linger has only time to absorb a small part. Most of the power of thunder is rampant in the body of dragon dust. Let go of my boss. At this time, Jiang Lei roars to kill him. At this time, he is covered with blood. Just now, the man's foot almost crushed him. But even so, Long Chen is in trouble, and he still does his best to kill him. Puff, puff, puff. As a result, as soon as he rushed over, he was surrounded by more than a dozen 9-star followers. A thunder sword stabbed Jiang Lei's body, and he was also stabbed into a hedgehog. In front of these 9-star descendants, they were simply vulnerable to a blow. Jiang Lei, don't afraid of my own people. Long Chen howled bitterly, but he was conscious and spoke to Jiang Lei. At this time, Jiang Lei is also crying bitterly. The force of thunder infuses into his body and seems to burst his body. Dragon dust's meridians flow with the blood essence of 10,000 animals. The blood essence is ignited by the force of thunder and burns the meridians of dragon dust. The dragon dust is in great pain. However, Longchen finds that with the ignition of the essence blood of 10,000 beasts, his meridians are expanding rapidly. At the same time, with the burning of the flame, the impurities produced by the absorption of the essence blood of 10,000 beasts before the dragon dust are all destroyed by the thunder. The power burns away, and the body becomes spotless again. Your body is too weak. We can only help you to do this, brother. You need to get stronger quickly. Don't lose our face of 9 stars. When the 9-star descendant finished speaking, all the 9-star descendants burst to pieces and turned into endless thunder runes, scattered in the heaven and earth. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3782 Boom. All the 9-star descendants turn into thunder. A thunder dragon opens its mouth and devours all thunder around the dragon dust. At the same time, the 9-star descendants who attacked Kuntu and others also absorbed their thunder power. At the time of the robbery, the arrogance of all ethnic groups was endless. Now, there are only less than 500 strong people on the scene. The strong people of the demon beast family only occupy a small part, while the strong people of other races occupy the majority. At the moment when the 9-star descendant broke up, the breath of the strong people on the scene soared rapidly, and it soared several times in an instant. The vast breath changed the color of heaven and earth, and the disaster ended. They were no longer the strong ones in the divine kingdom, and finally promoted to the fairyland. Because just promoted, the breath leaks, the violent power gushes, crazily washes the world. These people scrambled for the thunder power between heaven and earth. Suddenly, they focused on the thunder dragon behind the dragon dust, because most of the 9-star descendants were besieging Longchen. The thunder power was swallowed up by Lei Linger, and their eyes were red. For them, the power of the thunder was so strong that they could not believe it, no matter Kuntu, the giant with eyes closed, or other strong people. It can be said that they borrowed light from Longchen. Such a disaster has never happened, and the benefits to them are unimaginable. When they saw that Lei Linger swallowed up all the thunder, they didn't want to go straight to the dragon dust. Boom! Kuntu opened his wings and came through the air. His speed was the fastest. He ran straight to Longchen to kill him. He could see that Lei Long was the pet of Longchen. He thought that as long as he killed Longchen, he might let Lei Long recognize him as the main one. Longchen sneered. Minghong Dao was in his hand, and he cut Kuntu with a knife. However, as soon as the knife was half cut, Longchen could not help exclaiming, "How could this happen?" Longchen's body has enough Lingyuan. When he entered the fairyland, his Lingyuan soared dozens of times than before. However, he was shocked to find that the qi and blood in his meridians was less than 1/10. Boom! Longchen should hit with a knife, and as a result, Longchen was shocked by Kuntu. Kacha! Just after dragon dust was shaken off, Kuntu's other claw smashed the void. It turns out that this second claw is the real killing move. However, Kuntu didn't expect that Longchen, who was promoted to the fairyland, became weaker. A tentative blow sent the dragon dust back, while the real killing moves were all over the place. Die! When the dragon dust retreated, the void behind him suddenly trembled, and all kinds of thunder appeared and gathered into a figure. A thunder sword with roar and roar went straight to the dragon dust to kill him. Weng Tiao finally made a move. His speed was not much slower than that of Kuntu. With a sword, the way of heaven collapsed, and a sword had the power to destroy the heaven and the earth. Entering the fairyland, he was like a completely new man. He was 100 times stronger than the emperor. Obviously, he made endless profits in this disaster. At this time, Longchen was frightened and angry. He was forced to do harm to him by the 9-star descendant? Otherwise, how could he be so weak and have the strength of blood essence? Boom! In the face of Weng Tianyao's all-out attack, Longchen can't resist it. He kicks in the void, and turns around to avoid the sword. At this time, Kuntu kills again, and finally meets Weng Tianyao's sword. The sharp claws collide with the thunder sword, the boundless qi and blood collide with the force of thunder, the ripples of terror bloom, and the runes of the road interweave in the air. You can see that the void is broken in inches, and in an instant it spreads over tens of thousands of miles. Countless strong men who had just arrived were hit by the ripples and were shaken back and forth one after another. Weng Tianyao's all-out strike shocked countless people. The body of Tianlei is worthy of its reputation. However, it has not been paid attention to by Kuntu. If you are wise enough, get out of my way. On the sharp claws of Kuntu, thunder twined, but it was soon suppressed by the power of his qi and blood. Obviously, the power of thunder could not restrain him. It's you who want to get out of here, and my life is mine. If you dare to do something bad to me, I will kill you together. Weng Tianyo changed his insidious and weak before. At this time, he was full of cold pride. Even in the face of Kuntu, he still refused. If you want to die, I will do it for you. Kuntu roared, and the huge koan behind him trembled, and his endless qi and blood seemed to be crushed down by the universe, and the road began to collapse, as if the world could not accommodate him. Boom! Kuntu smashed the sky with one blow, and killed all the space. Kuntu was angry, ignited the power of qi and blood, and fought hard with Weng Tianyo. It was necessary to distinguish life and death between several moves. Or I can help you, let you see, my Purple Ting Empire heritage vision, Leidasian heaven and earth. With Weng Tianyao's cold drink, a pagoda of 10,000 li appeared behind him. The pagoda has 13 layers. In each layer of pagoda, it seems that a beast is suppressed. When the pagoda appears, the divine light shines on the world. The endless force of thunder comes out of the pagoda and shines on Weng Tianyo. On Weng Tianyo, endless thunder chains are entangled, and the breath of the whole person suddenly rises several times. Boom! The crazy blade in Weng Tianyao's hands roared and fell with one sword. A large amount of thunder runes poured out, setting off a torrent of thunder. Two forces of unparalleled power collided together, and the sky would be shattered. This boy is so insidious that he has been playing pig and eating tiger all the time. Seeing Weng Tianyao's all-out strike, Longchen is shocked. This guy is so terrible that he is no worse than Kuntu. Puff, Kuntu and Wang Tao were both bloody at the same time. They fought hard, but they were injured at the same time. Boss, help me. Suddenly, Jiang Lei calls for help. It turns out that Jiang Lei has been killed by a demon beast family's supreme level Tianjiao. He can only parry but not fight back. Boom, Long Chen's body shook and rushed over, and Ming Hong's sword was cut off. The most powerful man of the demon beast clan was terrified and thought that he was going to be chopped to death. However, what he didn't expect was that the sword of Long Chen was not as terrible as he thought, but was shaken back without being hurt. Boss, what's going on? How am I getting weaker? Jiang Lei looks frightened and says that he is the same as Long Chen. His realm has been improved and Ling Yuan has sword, but his qi and blood are weak and his deficiency is severe. I don't know what's going on. This can't work. An ordinary person can't be killed. It's killing me. Runaway Long Chen is also depressed to death, at a loss do not know what happened. Want to escape? Save your life, hum. Just as the dragon dust was about to start, Wang Tingmao had turned into a flash of lightning, blocking the way of the dragon dust, and a sword cleaved at the dragon dust. Damn it, do you have to use the eyes of purgatory? Long Chen gritted his teeth and opened his blindfold. Brother Long Chen, give it to me. All of a sudden, Lei Linger appears in front of Long Chen. Facing a sword cut by Wang Tao, Lei Linger scolds, not yet. With Lei Linger's teasing, the scene that Wang Tianyao's eyes are about to fall out appears, and the crazy blade in his hand disappears. What scares him most is that the crazy blade actually appears in Lei Linger's hand. Lei Linger holds a crazy blade and cuts off Wang Ting. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3783. Wang Tiao was surprised and angry. He could not have imagined that Lei Linger would suddenly take away Wang's ancestral weapon. Saw that the as like as two peas were holding the edge of the torpedo, he was chopped off. He was suddenly seen in Gouda, and was exactly the same as Gouda in his vision. Bang! The thunderblade is cut on the ancient pagoda, and the thunder gushes and shines in thousands of ways. The force of thunder converges into a long gun and penetrates the heaven and earth. The power of thunder makes countless people panic. Lei Linger holds a crazy blade and suddenly pinches a seal formula in his left hand. When he sees the seal formula, Wang Tianyao's face changes greatly. Lei Linger pressed the crazy blade with his left hand. The blade roared and roared as if he had come back to life. Suddenly, a divine light came out from the top of the crazy blade's sword and went straight to Wang Tianyao to stab him. Wang Tianyao was not able to block, so he was stabbed by the divine light. With a bang, the whole person burst into pieces. A fist-sized golden villain appeared in the thunderbolt. Die for the dead puppet. When people saw the villain, they could not help but were shocked. Some people did not cultivate their own bodies, but they would refine puppets in order to protect their lives. They could perform the art of replacing the dead at critical moments. However, it is extremely difficult to refine the dead puppet, and it also requires the master to nourish him with blood essence and spirit for a long time. Ordinary people can't afford it, but they can save lives at critical moments. A person can only own one puppet for death. After using it, he can warm up the second one again. Moreover, it will take at least several years to raise a replacement puppet successfully. Wang Tao would not use a puppet for death until he had to. If he used it now, it means that if he did not use the puppet, he would die. No, how can you be crazy about cutting your soul? Wang Tao looks at Lei Linger and shouts. Crazy Blade is mine from today on. I can use all of its abilities. Do you want to try Crazy Blade's unique killing again? Lei Linger holds a crazy blade and points to Wang Tianyao's cold tunnel. Asshole! When he heard that Crazy Blade was killed, Wang Tianyao's face became very ugly. Suddenly, his blood gushed out, his hands were sealed and turned into endless symbols. Wang Tianwao roared. Crazy Blade returns to its position. This is his blood sacrifice skill to summon Crazy Blade, because Crazy Blade is the ancestral magic soldier of Purple Ting Empire, and there are blood marks left by strong men of all ages on it. The pulse can force the blade to summon. However, to his surprise, Crazy Blade didn't respond at all, but Lei Linger said with a smile, "The blood mark left by your Wang family has suppressed Crazy Blade as a slave, and it has already begun to hate you. From then on, we can use it to help me to fight with it. No matter how much blood essence you burn, it's useless. If you treat it as a slave, it will hate you for a long time." All of a sudden, Lei Linger holds a Crazy Blade and suddenly cuts back. A competition cuts through the sky. The giant with dark eyes is quietly approaching the dragon dust, and is hit by the competition. A mouthful of blood spurts out and flies far away. Both Longchen and Jianglei are stunned. At this time, Lei Linger is as powerful as the sea in his body, with the power of destroying the heaven and the earth. The most important thing is that Lei Linger's attack is accompanied by an invincible will. The breath is actually similar to that of the 9-star descendant. Looking at her, it is frightening and gives rise to an incomparable feeling. Little Lei Ling dare to be arrogant. There is a huge noise in the void. The Kuan massacre is coming. Its wings cover the sky. A strange fish pattern appears on the sharp claws. It is caught by Lei Linger, Long Chen and Jiang Lei in the air. It's the power of seal. When Long Chen's face changed, the blow was extraordinary. It seemed to be a special move to deal with Lei Linger. Long Chen did not dare to be careless about the magic power of Kunping people. Suddenly, Huolinger appeared beside Lei Linger. They looked at each other, and a smile appeared on their lips. Lei Linger held a Crazy Blade, and Huolinger held a real fire sword and chided at the same time. Double dragons breaking the sky, Lei Linger and Huolinger simultaneously, two long swords intertwined. The purple thunder and white flame are compatible. At that moment, the world has lost its voice, the world has lost its color. The force of natural calamity, which destroys the heaven and the earth, mingles with the power of ice, soul, and fire. Space and time begin to twist and collapse because of their power. The power of two dragons shakes the rules of the whole world, and all roads begin to tremble. Kunta's face changed for the first time. He had never seen such a terrible force. At this time, Lei Linger absorbed all the power of the 9-star descendants, and the power of Thunder Sword to an unimaginable height. Huolinger has been absorbing the power of the flame in the disaster. These pure energies help her to improve. Now she is the master of the ice spirit power. At this time, she is using the 8th ice soul power on the sky fire list, which can really destroy the order of heaven and earth. When the two men broke out with all their strength, Kunta's hair stood on end for the first time. His soul trembled with the terrible threat of death. He felt wrong at the first time and gave up the attack directly. He fell back and covered the sky with his wings in front of him. The endless divine lines on his wings spread open the heaven and earth, forming a double wing boundary. At the same time, the huge Kungsu shadow behind him rapidly enlarged, and once again blessed a realm outside his wings, wrapping his body with visions. Kunta took the strongest defense. Boom! Huolinger and Lei Linger rotate rapidly and collide with each other fiercely. The shadow of the giant Kun breaks up at the first time. Then, Kunta's wings are pierced, and endless blood spills into the void. What? When people saw Kunpeng's vision shattered and its wings were punctured, people couldn't believe their eyes. Boom! With a loud sound, the swords of Huolinger and Lei Linger fell on the two claws of Kuntu, and Kunta's claws cracked, and people flew back and forth like meteors. In an instant they disappeared, and their breath disappeared. After the attack, everyone was shocked. How terrible was Kuntu? It can be said that the strongest person here was defeated in this way. Suddenly Huolinger's figure disappeared. She tried her best to take a rest. Lei Linger returned to Longchen with a Crazy Blade, and her breath was obviously reduced. It was obvious that her consumption was extremely serious after the blow. This man is so strong that he doesn't die. Lei Linger is a little reluctant. It's better that you didn't kill him. I'm still useful for keeping his life. Dragon dust this just from the shock reaction, smile comfort way. Let's fight together and kill Long Chen. Now is the best chance to kill him. All of a sudden, Wang Tinghao holds the ancient pagoda and kills the dragon dust. At the same time, he shouts at other people. Others also found that there was something wrong with the dragon dust. It was all up to Lei Linger and Huolinger to support the scene. Now Huolinger is gone, and Lei Linger's breath is weak, which is the best time to kill him. Wang Tianhao, thank you for your crazy blade, protect the tower in your hand, and I'll take it next time. The dragon dust suddenly crushed a seal character, and the force of space wrapped the dragon dust and Jiang Lei, and they disappeared in an instant. Wang Tianhao was defeated and looked around. He could not find the figure of Long Chen. He was so angry that he made a roar like a beast. At this time, Kuntu appeared. He was covered with blood, and his intention of killing was high. But he came back a little late, and Long Chen had left. You idiot, bad my business. Go to death. With a roar, Kuntu flew to Wang Tianhao. It's all you idiot. Delay. Wait for me. When I see monsters and beasts, I'll kill one after another. Wang Tianhao lost his crazy blade and lost a lot of blood essence because of the call of blood. Although Kuntu was also injured, there were still a large number of powerful demons and beasts. If he fought here, he could not get any benefits. His figure flashed and turned into a flash of lightning. Seeing this, the strong men of other ethnic groups fled in succession, because they not only had to deal with the pursuit of Kuntu and others, but also had to deal with the interception from the periphery. For a time, all of them scattered and left. Tianhe Blood Sea disappeared, endless skeletons disappeared. Under the scourge, here has become a place of death. Here used to be the place where 1 billion animal statues were buried. However, hundreds of millions of years later, countless Tianjiao came here, but they didn't even have the qualification to bury bones, which turned into dust in the universe. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3784, Long Chen did not care to save the teleportation symbol, and sent it 17 or 8 times in a row. After being completely far away from the Tianhe Blood Sea, he ran with Jiang Lei all the way. Fortunately, after he was promoted to the fairyland, Long Chen's spiritual sense was stronger than before. He sensed the loopholes in the encircling circle of the powerful monsters and sent them out directly from the dead corner of their blockade. If it is not, they will be in danger if they are entangled by the powerful people of God's dignity around them. However, Long Chen was very disappointed when he was promoted to the King of Immortals. He did not feel much stronger in other aspects except for his spiritual sense. Master, are you there? What the hell is going on here? Long Chen couldn't help calling for the strong of the Dragon Clan. The disaster was too bad. Don't worry. Everything is expected. There are many places in the 3000 world that can survive the robbery. The reason why I let you come here is to pave the way for you in the future. The strong Dragon Clan finally responded. Paving the way? Long Chen was stunned. Before, I asked you to absorb the essence of those monsters, that is to use their blood essence to broaden your channels. Now you have deviated from the 9-Star Master's code and created your own path. Moreover, the 9-Star Master's formula you have obtained is only a basic skill, and there is no corresponding combat skill. Therefore, you are much weaker than these 9-star descendants in ancient times. The strong of the dragon race. Master, do you know the secret of the 9-star game? Long Chen did not expect that the strong men of the Dragon Clan seemed to know everything. Of course I do, but don't ask questions you shouldn't ask. I won't tell you. You change your destiny because of the 9-star Master's code, but no one dares to say whether this change is good or bad. But in any case, you have no way back now. Since you choose to change, you can only change all the time. I've paved a section of road for you, but I can't see the end of the road. You have to be prepared. The strong of the dragon race. Don't worry, my life is saved by you. Even if I die on the road of war in the future, I won't complain about you. Longchen sincerely. I've only paved a short way for you to expand your meridians with the blood essence of 1 billion demons. 9-star biography people, with the power of the Tianjie, will those blood essence all clean up? This is why now the power of qi and blood appears so weak. In fact, the power of your dragon blood has not been reduced, but because the meridians have been widened by more than 10 times, you will feel a serious shortage of qi and blood. The strong dragon explained. After the strong man of the dragon said so, Dragon Dust found that, just as the strong man of the dragon clan said, it was not his chi and blood decreased, but the meridians became too wide. When chi and blood ran, it felt empty and gave people a feeling of powerlessness. When the blood essence of the beast was used up, it was directly destroyed by the 9-star descendant. At the same time, his meridians were expanded again by the force of thunder. It was extremely tough and could accommodate endless power. Master, are you trying to pave the way for me to absorb your blood essence? Dragon Dust suddenly realized. Yes, without a strong meridians, I can't integrate my essence and blood. Even with your body, the success rate is less than 10%. Moreover, I know that you are arrogant and don't allow failure. Once you fail, I'm afraid you'll have to take your life. In addition, the expansion of your meridians is not only to integrate my essence and blood, your star power, your purple chi, all need strong meridians to control. You should summon the 7 stars to fight. If the meridians are not strong enough and the power of the stars pours down, you will be shocked to death. What are you talking about against the enemy? The strong of the dragon race. Hearing the words of the strong man of the dragon clan, Long Chen would like to smoke himself. How could he be so stupid that he didn't think of this step? In order to be safe, Long Chen fled directly to the spiritual forbidden area. As soon as he entered the forbidden area, the leader of the spirit clan came to meet him in person. Long Chen directly said that he needed to find a place to close down. The leader of the spirit clan directly sent him to a secluded place deep in the spirit clan. The dragon dust made Jiang Lei swallow the pills and consolidate the realm as soon as possible. At the same time, he was allowed to absorb the power of heaven and earth. The force of thunder was used as the power of chi and blood in the meridians. He would become a body of thunder the day after tomorrow. After Long Chen reminds him, Jiang Lei is surprised and pleased. He used to rely too much on the power of his blood vessels. He can't turn the corner for a while. Now he wants to understand and immediately starts to close down. Like Jiang Lei, Long Chen doesn't turn around the corner. Seeing Jiang Lei looking at him with admiration, he wants to find a crack to get in. In the past, it was hard to gather the body. Now I can pump the purple chi from the star sea into the meridians. In this way, it should be easier to run the 7-star battle body. Long Chen's hands were sealed, and he began to slowly mobilize the purple chi among the 18,000 stars. When the purple chi flowed into the meridians, his whole body was shocked, and he felt the endless power climbing in his body. This purple chi is stronger than my chi and blood. Long Chen looked surprised. When the purple chi is surging in the meridians, the dragon dust feels that there is endless power in his body. Damn it, if I had thought of it, why should I run away? Just kill them, and it's going to turn the world upside down. Long Chen felt the power of purple chi in the meridians and could not help regretting. How could he not have thought of it at that time? Long Chen didn't expect that the purple gas could still be used in this way. Now, the purple air in Long Chen's body was full, and the purple fog began to appear all over the body. The sky and the earth trembled as if all the laws were under control. Don't be too happy too soon. Even if your meridians are expanded, your resilience is still insufficient, and you are still in danger of being burst by my blood essence. In the past, the probability of your success was only 10%, but now it is only 50%. To put it bluntly, success and failure are both half. The strong man of the dragon clan threw a basin of cold water on the dragon dust. Your blood essence is so terrible? Long Chen took a breath of cold air. The Dragon King is the immortal king of the human race. Both of them are at the same level in the realm. If the Dragon King is really according to the strong man of the dragon clan, what kind of terror is this strong man? When I was promoted to the Dragon King, I was in a chaotic era, where the laws of heaven and earth were complete and full of vitality. However, the times of your generation are different. What's more, when I became the Dragon King, I fought in 10 directions and was invincible. It was when I showed my edge and arrogance. In the dragon scale, there was my arrogant will at that time. When the scales fall off, it gives birth to its own consciousness, and even I can't force it to bow. Therefore, if you want to subdue it, on the one hand, you have to have a strong will, on the other hand, you need a strong meridians to be able to resist the impact of blood essence. In terms of will, I don't worry about this. It's your meridians. I'm afraid it's not as good as I was at that time. I'm afraid you'll explode and die. Therefore, you should use the power of purple chi and stars to expand the meridians for the second time before they are fully shaped. After expanding to the limit, gather the 7-star battle body and expand again. If I can achieve the desired effect and subdue my scale, there should be a 90% probability of success. The strong of the dragon race. Long Chen was stunned. He had always been very confident, but his confidence was completely destroyed by the strong men of the dragon clan. Long Chen bit his teeth, took a deep breath, and began to expand his meridians with all his strength. Long Chen knew that this time in the 3000 world, he would really be reborn. It's no wonder that the strong man of the dragon clan didn't remind him to use the purple chi to expand his meridians. He wanted to let the dragon dust absorb his blood essence and flesh and kick Kuntu with the strength of his flesh. Kuntu, wait for me. At the thought of Kuntu, who looked down upon all living beings from above, Long Chen's chi didn't strike a place. Dragon dust's hands were printed, and the sea of stars trembled, and the endless power of stars poured into the meridians. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3785, Humptum. Purple gas poured into the meridians, and the meridians of dragon dust began to expand slowly and continue to widen. Before the meridians are fully condensed and there is still energy left by the 9-star descendants in the meridians, you can expand them as much as you can. Now you have opened 7 stars, which is equivalent to having 7 elixir fields, but your meridians do not match your 7 elixir fields. In the past, you can fight for several hours under full fire. It seems that you have a long pulse and thick accumulation. This is the safest way for normal people to fight. But in fact, this is the most lethal place for you. The killing moves of the real strong are super killing moves that can empty most of their strength in a moment. This kind of killing moves are fierce and have a very short time to accumulate strength. In the past, you fought hard with others and collided with each other. It looked very powerful, but in my eyes, it was all an idiot's play. The real fierce battle is to kill the enemy with one move. Just like your people playing chess, they fight for the first chance. When you release your big move, the other party's reaction only needs to slow down a little bit. The winner or loser is determined, and the life and death are determined. The powerful channels are the chips for you to win the first chance. In the past, many times, you spent too much time accumulating strength, missed many opportunities in vain, and could only compete with others like a reckless man without any skills. Even if you beat your opponent, you will become a dead dog. Fighting in martial arts is not a contest. To kill the strongest opponent at the lowest cost is the king's way. Just like this robbery, even if you defeat Kuntu, you will eventually be killed by others. Even if you are not killed by others, you will surely fall into the hands of those monsters outside. But you can't blame you because you are a human race and your body itself is limited and the 9-star master's formula is not complete. In addition, without a real master's guidance, you can never see your own fatal defects. Now we finally meet such an adverse opportunity. You should cherish it. The width of meridians determines your height in the future. The strong people of the dragon nationality have a serious voice. Long Chen understands. Thank you very much. The strong man of the dragon clan reminds him that the dragon dust is like a flash. No wonder he has always felt that no matter how strong he is, there is always a feeling that his whole body is full of strength, but he can't make it out. It turns out that the problem lies in the meridians. As the strong men of the dragon clan said, this is an opportunity against heaven and a chance to change the fate. Long Chen must seize it. Long Chen madly pressed the purple chi into the meridians. The meridians seemed to be inflated. They began to expand continuously, which was much larger than before. However, after an hour, Long Chen's meridians began to sting. Originally, when the meridians reached the limit, cracks appeared. However, when the cracks appeared, the dragon dust was not alarmed because the residual energy in the meridians could quickly repair the wound. At the same time, the chaotic space didn't need the dragon dust to mobilize himself. The endless vitality has poured in like the ocean. Repairing the wound from the outside and thickening the meridians also increases the toughness of the meridians. The energy in the meridians is a great gift given to Longchen by the people of the 9-star legend. If it wasn't for the reminder of the strong dragon clan, Longchen himself would not know. Thinking of the 9-star descendant, tearing the sky with his bare hands, breaking the shackles of heaven, and arrogant to the sky, Longchen felt heartache. This group of heroes, eventually or destroyed in the long history, no one knows how strong they were. Although they have died for countless years, they will not die against the heaven. The way of heaven imitates them. They tear the arena of heaven with their bare hands. How arrogant is this? As a descendant of 9 stars, Longchen felt ashamed. He felt that he had disgraced the descendant. He should not be like him. When the meridians were repaired, dragon dust began to inject purple gas into the meridians crazily again. After 3 consecutive repairs, the star's sea trembled. Under the pressure of the stars, all the purple gas in the star sea was forced into, and at this time, the meridians reached the extreme again. However, Juxingzwen people left too much energy to the dragon dust. Soon, the meridians were repaired again. The dragon dust had no purple chi, so it directly pressed the force of the stars into the meridians. Gagaga! Longchen's teeth are like exploding beans. When the power of the stars pours into the meridians of Longchen have a sharp pain. The pain is even more painful than when the 9-star descendant infuses the force of thunder into his body and burns the essence of all animals. Why will so? The pain was so intense that Longchen's face was deformed. The veins on his forehead burst out and his eyes protruded. It seemed that he would burst at any time. It's not what I expected. There are star spots on your meridians. I don't know whether your 9 stars began to change or what the descendant of the 9 stars left you on purpose. However, it seems that your life will not be in danger. Bear it. It should be good for you. The strong man of the dragon clan was silent for a moment. Bear it? It's light and smart to say that. Longchen's ability to endure pain has never taken anyone, but this time, he really can't stand it. Boom! The dragon dust suddenly tumbles, smashing through the mountains in the distance. Jiang Lei, who is closing up, is startled. He is about to check on Longchen, but he is stopped by Longchen. Boom boom. Longchen's whole body was extremely painful, and the star-like spots appeared on the meridians. The power of the stars constantly poured into Longchen's body. At this time, he was no longer under the control of the dragon dust. Longchen roared up to the sky, like the god roaring. With the roar of Longchen, the mountains were broken by his roar. Boom boom. All of a sudden, Longchen stepped on the void and soared into the sky. His fists were wildly waved in the air. Each fist made a harsh sonic boom, and ripples appeared. The void kept exploding, as if to explode the sky. Longchen felt like he was going crazy. He had never experienced that kind of pain. It seemed that 18,000 irons had been burned on his meridians. Only by venting the power of the stars could he feel better. Boom, 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 boom. The attack of dragon dust is more and more slow. However, with each bombardment, a crack like a spider web is smashed between heaven and earth, covering the sky tens of thousands of miles around, as if the heaven and earth would be broken by him. Boss, what's the matter? With this strength, why not hammer Kuan and kill them? Looking at the crazy appearance of Longchen, Jiang Lei looks shocked. As Longchen kept waving his fist, a little star appeared on his fist. His power was getting bigger and stronger, but his mind became more and more blurred. Boom! With a startling sound, Longchen punches through the space barrier, and a huge black hole emerges. Dragon dust is swallowed up by the black hole, but he doesn't realize it. Jiang Lei screams all over his body, and he wants to pull the dragon dust. All of a sudden, a golden vine appeared, bound with dragon dust, and dragged the dragon dust out of the black hole. When the dragon dust returns, the whole person has passed out and his consciousness has fallen into the boundless darkness. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3786, Getting Closer. In the endless darkness, an old voice sounded. "What's getting closer?" Longchen asked. It was the mysterious voice that often appeared every time he fell into darkness. Distance, danger, the truth, hope. The mysterious voice began to blur, and Longchen faintly heard a few characters, and then Longchen woke up. "Boss," seeing Longchen wake up, Jiang Lei exclaimed in surprise. In addition to Jiang Lei, Longchen found that beside him was a kind old man with a clear face. The old man was the head of the 3,000 spiritual families in the world. "Thank you for your help." Longchen quickly got up to salute. "It's just a little work. The old man's ability is limited. We can't make Zunk recover from his injuries. Zunk still needs to cultivate himself for a few days." The old man said that and left. Only then did Dragon Dust find that the purple gas was surging in his meridians, and endless stars were flowing. He lifted his hand gently and felt that the violent energy was flowing, as if waving his hand could destroy the sky. This is the power to be promoted to the Queen of Immortals. At this time, Longchen felt more powerful than before. For a long time, he didn't feel like this. What shocked Longchen most was that his meridians were covered with a layer of green energy, which was slowly repairing the cracks on the meridians. Thank that kind-hearted little guy, who will not hesitate to consume his own longevity yuan and use his own original spirit liquid to help you repair the wound, otherwise, you will not be able to repair your wound for a month. The most important thing is that it is a vein of wisteria. Its original spirit fluid has a certain affinity with your purple chi. When helping you heal, your meridians will be expanded again. With the nourishment of its original supernatural fluid, your meridians will become full of toughness and can accommodate more impact of strength. Your current meridians are stronger than I expected. The strong of the dragon race. Longchen knew that when he was in a coma, the leader of the spirit clan had done so much for himself, which moved him deeply, but he was also somewhat ashamed. However, such a big favor, thank you, has no meaning. Longchen, dark determined, will return the spirit clan. "Master, where are the places in the 3,000 world that can survive? Why is there not a few Terrans in Tianhe Bloody Sea?" Longchen originally thought that he could meet some dragon blood soldiers to cross the robbery together. Unexpectedly, none of them met. There are more than a dozen forbidden areas in the 3,000 world, such as Tianhe and Xuehai, which are suitable for looting. As for other places which are a little worse, there are more than a dozen. As a matter of fact, Tianhe Blood Sea is not suitable for Terrans to cross the loot. Naturally, no Terrans have ventured here. The reason why I let you come here is to pave the way for you. Others must have been robbed in other places. The strong of the dragon race. Longchen was relieved. In this way, he could go on looking for others. Otherwise, there would be no use for the tree full of supreme heavenly fruits. Today, the number of the supreme Tianjiao of Longchen has exceeded 10,000. However, this number is somewhat strange, which is not in line with the actual number of supreme Tianjiao killed in the natural calamity. There are at least tens of thousands of supreme Tianjiao who died. But the supreme heavenly fruit of Longchen is only more than 10,000. I don't know whether it is because the scope is too far, it is not sensed by the Tiandao tree, or part of it is absorbed by the Tiandao tree. Longchen continued to heal, because of the power of the spiritual clan leader. Longchen recovered very quickly. In one day's work, his meridians had been completely recovered. However, Jiang Lei's strength also increased greatly. According to the way of Longchen, he did not have such a strong force of qi and blood, so he poured the power of thunder spirit from the elixir field into the meridians instead of the power of qi and blood. Jiang Lei borrowed light from Longchen, and his meridians were widened by more than 10 times. The power of thunder was full, and there was thunder symbol in his eyes. At this time, his breath was extremely amazing, and he had become a terrible Lei Xiu. This makes Jiang Lei very excited. After such a long time, he is still struggling in the middle and lower levels of the cultivation world. Now, after only a few days with the dragon dust, he soared into the sky. Although he did not dare to say that he stood on the top of Wudao, there were few terrible things in the same rank. After the two men recovered, Long Chen said goodbye to the leader of the spirit clan. Now that the body recovers, it's time to look for partners and dispose of the supreme heavenly fruit as soon as possible. Otherwise, once the 3,000 worlds are closed, there will be no chance. Long Chen did not thank the leader of the spiritual clan for his help. He only left a word. The matter of the spiritual clan is his business. If you need help, just open your mouth. When he left the spirit clan, Long Chen found that the strong people of the spirit clan had disappeared. He didn't know whether they had been robbed or gone to other places, but Long Chen didn't ask. 7-star battle body, Fengfu star, open. Jade Hengxing, open. Si Ming Xing, open. Gong Qixing, open. In a wilderness, the 7-color god ring behind the dragon dust circulates. In the god ring, 1 star lights up, and each star lights up, the breath of dragon dust is madly increased by a large section. Boom! When dragon dust opened 4 stars, the whole world began to tremble. The violent power made the space begin to distort in large area. In particular, the colorful divine ring behind the dragon dust pierced the sky like a sharp sword, which pierced the sky. The picture was frightening. It's been 3 days. Now it's the limit to turn on 4 stars. If you open the 5th star, you're going to let out your breath. There are 7 stars in the dragon dust circle, but now only 4 stars are on, and the other 3 are dim. But even if you open the 4 stars, the power is not much worse than the whole 6-star battle. Long Chen felt the power of the stars in his body, and a surprise appeared on his face. The strong man of the dragon clan is right. The 7-star battle body is too strong. If it is not for his strong meridians, he can't control it at all. But now his meridians are strong, but he still can't open the 7-star battle body, not to mention all the 7-star battle body, even if the 5 stars open. Because he has never mastered such a powerful force, his body can't adapt to it. If he opens it forcibly, his strength will leak out. Once his breath is released, his strength will not be able to gather together. Although the breath bursts out and looks very frightening, it doesn't make much sense if the strength can't be concentrated. It's like the flow of a river. At ordinary times, the flow force is limited because the power is dispersed. But when the riverbank discharges flood, the water flows out of a hole, which can break through the mountains. The destructive force between the two is not the same. It's estimated that in another 10 days and a half months, the body will gradually adapt to it. Then I will be able to form a 7-star fighting body, and am still afraid of the cattle? Long Chen laughs. He has been really transformed, fearless of any strong. 2 days later, Long Chen and Jiang Lei arrive at a big city of human race. As soon as they arrive at the gate of the city, they hear someone beating gongs and drums and chanting loudly, Wuliang Palace in front of Wuliang Mountain, Wuliang Temple outside Wuliang Gate. Tianjiao has no way to pursue his dream, and once they meet Mo Nian, they will become empty. I'll go www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3787. This sack is here? Long Chen and Jiang Lei arrive in front of the city. They see 2 powerful men, locked by chains. One is playing gongs and the other is playing drums. Their faces are ugly. They are sad. They are shaking their necks and shouting. Countless people looked at them with strange eyes, as if they were looking at 2 madmen. The 2 men were like prisoners, who did not dare to look at the people around them. They were beating gongs and drums and shouting loudly, Wuliang Palace in front of Wuliang Mountain, Wuliang Temple outside Wuliang Gate. Tianjiao has no way to pursue his dream, and once they meet Mo Nian, they will become empty. Both of them were Supreme Tianjiao, and their voices were loud and loud. Long Chen found that every time they yelled, the weird runes on their chains were reduced by a trace. Countless people gathered around to watch them, pointing and whispering. They all felt strange. They didn't look like crazy people. Look at the breath. It's just a robbery, the new king of immortals. Is it because of the disaster that his brain was destroyed? People look at the chains on the two men and find that they have not worn through their bodies, and they are loose and can be easily removed. However, they do not take off. Instead, they play gongs and drums like idiots and say strange poems. In front of Wuliang Mountain, Wuliang Palace, Wuliang Gate, Wuliang Pine, Tianjiao has no way to pursue his dream. Once he meets Emon Yen, he becomes empty. When they finish reading this sentence, all runes on the chain disappear and fall off from the two people. They immediately feel like they are released after their sentence. Let's kowtow to the gongs and drums 3 times. Even if it's over, let's start. One of them is humanity. I hit him yuan%, another strong man roared, as if to vent all his anger and hit the drum in his hand. Boom! With a bang, the drum burst into pieces. Another strong man's face changed and he was about to say something. Suddenly, he broke away from the chain of their bodies and glowed and covered them again. For a moment, there were runes all over the chain. At the same time, black runes appeared on their foreheads. On that rune, there was a terrible breath of death, which scared the people around. You idiot, Emon Yen said, after reading the poem for thousands of times, kowtow to the gongs and drums, then the curse will be lifted. Now, the drum has been destroyed by you, and we will never be able to get rid of the curse. Go and die. The strong man who struck the gong roared like crazy and hit the drum beater's head with a blow. Poof! The drummer seemed to feel endless regret and anger for his behavior, and his reaction slowed down a little. As a result, he was beaten in the head by the gonger and was killed directly. The strong people who watched the scene were scared. How could they kill people if they didn't agree? The man who struck the gong was just angry for a moment. He didn't want to kill people. He just wanted to beat the man out of his anger. But he didn't expect that the man was not only defenseless. It seemed that the whole person was in a wrong state and was killed by him inexplicably. Ah no! The master's face suddenly changed, and he thought of an extremely frightening thing. Suddenly, his whole body was still, and his flesh and blood began to rot, and the breath of life disappeared. His body almost decayed into soil in an instant. For a moment, panic appeared in everyone's eyes. Who are these two people and who have they offended? To deal with them in such a sinister way? Before, they mentioned a Emon Yen name in their poems. I'm afraid it's the owner of this name, forcing them to be like this. When people are talking about it, Long Chen walks over and looks at the ashes of the two people. Suddenly, he moves in his heart. Long Chen takes the gong that he knocked before. There is nothing special about the gong, but there is a strange circle in the center of the gong. Dang ding ding. After tapping with his fingers, Long Chen found that the sound was strange and should be hollow. Bang! Long Chen smashed the gong with a fist, and suddenly a palm-sized compass fell out. They'll go. The sawbow has other purposes. It seems that in the purple summer capital, the man also has this thing in his gong. Unfortunately, I didn't expect it at that time. Long Chen looked at the compass in his hand and realized clearly. When dragon dust held the compass, a pointer on the compass kept rotating and finally pointed to a direction. This son of a bitch, this is to want me to join him. Long Chen looks at the compass and smiles. Looking at the compass, the dragon dust seems to see the appearance of Emon Yen's smiling face. Put that compass down. All of a sudden, a group of people appeared and surrounded Long Chen and Jiang Lei. 3 of them were the most powerful immortal king. Looking at the breath, they had just finished the robbery. The strong men at the scene saw everything in their eyes. Seeing that Long Chen took something out of the gong, his face was beaming with joy. He immediately thought that Long Chen had got the treasure. This place was outside the city. They had to fight for it directly because of the large number of people. Kill them all, don't leave them for me. Long Chen didn't even look at them. Choking, just after Long Chen's voice fell, Jiang Lei had already pulled his sword out of his sheath, and the thunder roared and fell into the sky. Even a sword would have covered more than a dozen strong men in the future. As soon as Jiang Lei makes a move, it is a full blow. His meridians are broadened by the descendants of the 9 stars. He can increase his strength to the extreme in an instant. Boom! With a bang, thunder flooded the earth. People only saw a long river of thunder rolling down, and those 10 strong men, including 3 Supreme Tianjiao, disappeared in a moment. Dang dang dang. Several weapons fell to the ground, their owners have been killed, the endless thunder disappeared, leaving only a long gap on the earth. With a big move, Jiang Lei collected all the weapons on the ground. These were very powerful weapons, and the weak weapons were chopped by his sword together with people and weapons. Choking, Jiang Lei's long sword goes into the scabbard, and the thunder light disappears all over the sky. Jiang Lei's face is calm at the moment, as if nothing has happened. In fact, Jiang Lei is so excited that he has to dance. His powerful meridians can withstand any impact. He doesn't need to accumulate strength and improve his meridians as before, so as to avoid injury to his meridians. Now it's different. His meridians are like a huge spillway. When fighting to death, he can even pour out all his strength without reservation. Just now, if the 3 supreme-level strongmen were in the past, it would take him a lot of effort to kill them, but because of their powerful meridians, they can increase their strength to 80% in a moment. However, the opponent's first strike can only break out 50% at most, and it is still in a hurry to block, and his strength is greatly reduced. Therefore, even if Jiang Lei does not use his combat skills, he can easily kill him with one blow. Jiang Lei shocked everyone. Before that, many people were eager to see Long Chen get the compass. Now they dare not say anything. Let's go and join Mo Nian. Long Chen holds the compass and laughs. His face is full of expectation. Finally, he is going to meet this Saw Bao. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3788, Dragon Dust here, can have friends or enemies come out to meet. Dragon dust into the city, a drink, majestic voice spread throughout every corner of the city. The voice of Long Chen has aroused the dissatisfaction of countless people. The city of the Terran has the rules of the city of the human race. You can't make a loud noise in the city. Otherwise, you will feel that the city lord is being disobeyed. Even if it is a strong foreign god, come here, no matter how unreasonable, they will not shout in the city, which is easy to cause conflicts. Who is noisy in the city? Don't you pay attention to my Qingyun city? If you think you have some skills, you cannot give others face? The voice of dragon dust immediately led to a number of human beings with strong deities. At the same time, many of them also put their heads to look at them. Like other cities, Qingyun City also has many strong people of other races here. They are happy to see the excitement of the Terrans. Face? It's not that I don't give you face, but if you give more face, dogs will think they are lions. Longchen Cold Tunnel. You are looking for death. A man of God's power is angry. In the face of other races, you wag your tail like a dog and smile. In the face of one's own people, he barks and acts domineering. If he doesn't want to die, he will shut his mouth. Long Chen's face was cold and cold. Ha ha, that's interesting. The dog bites the dog. Keep biting. Don't stop. A restaurant in the city, a tall man, holding a glass, looking at this side, mouth with a sneer. The man's chi and blood were amazing. At first glance, he was a powerful monster. There were 2 powerful gods at the table with him. Obviously, he was of high status. All of a sudden, the dragon dust moved. Almost as soon as he moved, he went to the restaurant and hit the powerful man with amazing chi and blood. Humble people, dare to be arrogant. The man was extremely confident. Seeing the dragon dust coming, he beat the table, and the man had already flew out. A fist hit the dragon dust. The fist suddenly became thick, just like legs, colorful runes and python. The blow roared and made the whole city tremble. Stop it. As soon as the man makes a move, the faces of those who are strong in the realm of human god will change greatly. After this attack, I am afraid the whole city will be damaged. Poof! But to everyone's surprise, the man's chi and blood were soaring to the sky and his power was amazing. However, at the moment of contact with the fist of dragon dust, he burst into a blood mist. In front of Long Chen's fist, he was like an egg, so vulnerable that people were stunned. When they saw the man's blood soaring to the sky, they thought that there would be a fierce battle between them, but they didn't expect that it would end before it started. Hoo, the man was just killed, and the two powerful people in the same table roared and flew out and rushed to the dragon dust. The terror and pressure of the powerful man of the divine dignity was released, which made countless people's souls tremble. Bang bang, their bodies were like electricity. They surrounded the dragon dust one after the other. Their bodies were extremely mysterious. Each of them hit Longchen's chest and back with one punch each, which broke out two terrible ripples. What? People opened their mouths in horror, and the two powerful deities hit Longchen with all their strength. It seemed that Longchen did not feel anything at all, but looked coldly at the one in front of him. There was a look of panic in the eyes of the man with a strong sense of God. The dragon dust slapped him in the face, and with a bang, his head was blown to pieces. His violent power not only smashed his head, but also the Yuan god. The powerful man behind Longchen was shocked to death when he saw that his companion was slapped to death by Longchen. He didn't care to avenge them. He was in a flash and ran away. Poof! When the dragon dust points out with his right hand, a thunder sword flies out, and the body of the one with strong divine dignity suddenly trembles, and his body is pierced by the thunder sword. He looked at his chest in disbelief. There was a thunder sword, showing its sharp blade. The thunder spirit power flickered, and blood was evaporated. Lei Linger is really good. As like as two peas, the dragon's dust and thunder came from, and the thunder sword was the same as the blade. Obviously, the Thunderling's son had completely controlled the blade at that time, and even learned the magic that he possessed. Explosion! When the dragon dust stopped drinking, the thunder sword burst to pieces. Along with it, there was also the powerful god of the monster family. That's the gap. Looking at the blood mist scattered in the sky, Longchen can't help but feel that it takes great courage to challenge the strong in the divine realm. But now, the queen of immortality, such as such, can be killed with a wave. The difference between realms is too big. Longchen killed Tianjiao, the demon beast clan, and the two gods were powerful. Before and after, they just blinked their eyes several times, and the time was different. Seeing that the blood mist of the powerful god gradually faded, all the strong men, including those who had denounced the dragon dust before, all had the color of fear and awe on their faces. They all looked away. The man in black with a dull breath was actually a super terror existence. Both Longchen and Jianglei are not strong in breath because their meridians are too wide, and the power of their blood vessels only accounts for a small part of their meridians. Therefore, it is wrong for these people to judge a person's strength by the power of qi and blood. The gods of those Terrans, whose faces turned pale, were glad that they had not done anything. Otherwise, they would be the dead. Boss, Jianglei, are you really? At this time, 3 people came out of a building. When they saw the 3 people, Longchen and Jianglei showed ecstasy on their faces. They actually met the dragon blood soldiers. Huqin, Yaomeng, Shueziyu. Longchen's eyes were red, and he could name every one of the dragon blood soldiers. Seeing them at this time was like an afterlife. When they saw Longchen and Jianglei, they couldn't stop their tears. After the battle between Tianwu and mainland China, they left for life and death. Now they meet again, as if in a dream. Thanks to the fact that we have just passed the customs clearance, otherwise we will miss it with the boss. Yao Meng said happily. Dragon Dust suddenly realized, turned to look at the city lord. Wake up all the people who shut up and say that I have dragon dust. The city lord, who used to yell at Longchen, just like Sun Tzu, immediately ordered people to open all the closed areas in the city and wake up the people one by one, regardless of whether they are happy or not, or which race they belong to. If they can't do this well, they will lose their lives. As a result, the surprise was still in the back, and 2 dragon blood soldiers were found in the city. They were excited to meet each other. All of a sudden, Dragon Dust looked at the sky, and a sneer appeared in his mouth. The Holy Dan Hall is really haunting. Forget it. Today, I'm happy. Let's let you go. Let's go and find a good place to catch wind for you. Long Chen and others stepped on the transmission array and left directly. However, Long Chen and others had just left, and countless figures appeared from the void. These people were all dressed in the clothes of Shengdan Hall. Unfortunately, they came a step late. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3789, Boss. I'm also a super strong man. I'm not dreaming. Dragon blood soldiers eating the fruits of heaven have become the most powerful. They feel the power brought by the transformation of the body. They feel as if they are in a dream. Are you kidding? You're all following the boss. Do you still have to live hard? After that, we'll have some hot food together, and we'll drink spicy food. Jiang Lei laughs. When the dragon dust and the others were halfway through, they interrupted the transmission as before, and found a quiet place to match them with appropriate heavenly fruits according to their own strengths. The tree of heavenly way is absolutely against the heaven. Those heavenly fruits do not have the breath of any monster and beast family. They are the purest source power, and there will be no rejection. Therefore, after people eat the fruit and become the supreme Tianjiao, they always feel unreal. Supreme Tianjiao is the existence they dare not dream of. These dragon blood soldiers have suffered a lot. Although they are not as rough as Jiang Lei, they are also bramble step by step and come through with blood and tears all the way. However, the hardships and tribulations not only did not extinguish their will, but also made them more and more strong. In the past, they were very sharp, but after the Tianwu World War I, they began to become introverted, such as the sharp blade returning to its sheath. When it comes out again, it will bloom with unprecedented sharpness. The former dragon blood soldiers did not suffer any real defeat because they fought everywhere with dragon dust and were invincible and arrogant. Now, endless setbacks smooth their edges and corners. Let them understand the convergence edge. Before they blindly strong, but easy to break. Now they understand convergence, understand the hidden front. Tibetan front is not a retreat, but a kind of introverted reserve force. When it shows its edge again, it must be thunder, destroying the sky and destroying the earth. Looking at these excited brothers, Long Chen was moved and confident in the future. These brothers are his greatest motivation. With them, Long Chen felt at ease and no longer lonely. You have missed the practice of Tianjia. The supreme power can't completely match with you, but it doesn't matter. You first adapt to a period of time. Lei Linger will help you achieve this goal with the power of thunder. However, progress needs to be in accordance with the rhythm. It can't be achieved overnight. In short, you don't have to think about anything. Everything is left to me. Long Chen laughs. When Long Chen said this, people cheered. When they met him, they were no longer lonely drifters. They did not have to worry about life. They were not afraid of death, but they were afraid of loneliness. Now, they can go back to the carefree days when they don't need to use their brains except practice. Long Chen personally inspected their combat effectiveness and found that they had not forgotten what he had taught them during this period of time, and their foundation was very solid. It's not the time to fight back, because there's no light to fight. Long Chen can't help but sigh. In addition to Guoran, every dragon blood warrior is conscientious, dare not have the slightest laxity. They are the most diligent soldiers. After the dragon blood soldiers barely adapt to the supreme power, dragon dust takes them to the nearest city. Long Chen takes out the array disc and pays attention to the direction of the pointer. At the same time, he makes several marks on the map and estimates the general direction of Emonian. Those mark points are all some Terran cities. Long Chen wants to see if he can meet the dragon blood warriors again. He will gather the people together as much as possible, and make them all the strong men of the supreme level. Several cities selected by Long Chen have some suitable places for people to cross the Lute. There is not only one Tianhe and Bloody Sea in the world of 3,000. There will be changes in many places which are suitable for the strong. However, the super strong crossing points are occupied by countless forces. If you want to go to such a place, you must be a super strong person to get a share of the share. If they are ordinary dragon blood soldiers, Long Chen estimates that they will find a place where the relative competition is not very fierce. This is the case with Huaqing and others. After the robbery, they immediately find a stable city. Long Chen and others arrive at the first city. Without saying a word, Long Chen calls people directly. Some god worships the strong and comes out to stop them. Jiang Lei and others go on a rampage together. Today's Jiang Lei is strong enough to easily single out the strong ordinary gods. Jiang Lei is strong enough to deliberately leave the opportunity to his brothers. He is only responsible for stabilizing the rhythm and not letting the brothers get hurt. Under the leadership of Jiang Lei, all 3 city lords are beaten to the ground. A demon god worships a strong man and mocks him. At the command of Long Chen, the demon god worships the city immediately, and his body is different, and the ancient city is blood-stained. Although I hate the Terrans here, Long Chen and others still can't kill them. However, they don't have so many taboos for foreigners. They can cut them down when they get the chance. The demon god was cut to death, and all the people in the city were honest. Long Chen directly ordered to find people. Unfortunately, they were disappointed that no dragon blood soldiers were found in this city. However, it doesn't matter. They go straight to the second city. They use the same routine. They catch the city master and beat them. After fighting, they begin to look for people. This time, to everyone's surprise, we found a dragon blood warrior in this city, which made people's spirits rise. So they searched one city after another, looking for 17 cities in a row. A total of 30 people were found, including Jiang Lei, Huaqing, and others. Every time a dragon blood warrior was found, everyone was excited to jump up, their eyes were red and they wanted to cry. It was not easy to get together this time. These soldiers, Long Chen, have personally selected the right ones for them, and all of them have been promoted to be the most powerful. 36 people were together and immediately began to practice the formation. After such a long separation, the formation was a little unfamiliar. Moreover, they were all under the command of different military commanders. They did not cooperate with each other, so they still need to get familiar with it. However, their basic skills were incomparable and their cooperation became more and more tacit. At the end of the day, 36 people joined together to form a complete formation. Looking at the cooperation of the 36 men, Long Chen's heart was in full bloom. The 36 men made a joint attack with amazing power. He seemed to have seen the scene of dragon blood soldiers gathering together and fighting in the battlefield. Brothers, let's go. The dragon blood army is going to be famous for 9 days. Long Chen yelled. Dragon blood soldiers, a burst of cheers, they are full of energy, momentum, follow the dragon dust, standing on the rise, as if to return to the era of Tianwu land. A few hours later, a huge ancient city appeared in front of us. This is Haotian City, one of the top 10 ancient cities in the world. As soon as I was near the ancient city, I heard a lazy voice. Wuliang Palace in front of Wuliang Mountain, Wuliang Temple outside Wuliang Gate. Tianjiao has no way to pursue his dream, and once he meets Mo Nian, he becomes empty. Boy, haven't you heard of the name of this seat? If you know that life is not long, why do you want to take a shortcut? www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3790. In front of the ancient city, there are more than a dozen gods and hundreds of supreme immortal kings. Their faces are ferocious and they gnash their teeth to block a person's way. The man who was stopped was wearing a long robe, holding the floating dust and wearing a bun on his head. On the whole, it had a kind of flying out of the dust and the smell of immortality. However, his face with a little baby fat, as well as the obscene and cunning color in his eyes, destroyed his image. This is a typical yellow robe for the monkey, and he can't pretend to be the prince. Seeing Mo Nian's appearance, Long Chen almost died of laughter. Damned Terran, you dare to destroy our holy land, desecrate the remains of my ancestors and steal our treasures. If you don't tear you into pieces today, you people will never know what awe is. A powerful man roars. These people are all demonic. Obviously, they are all demon masters. Before Mo Nian enters the city, They stop Emonien's way. Because this ancient city is different from other cities. It is the only city in the world that only human beings can enter. If foreign people dare to approach, they will be mercilessly killed. The city is called Haotian City. It is said that the city master is a cruel character. The Haotian army led by him is fierce soldiers of the human race. He is not afraid of death. Hard to live in the 3000 world, relying on blood and indomitable, hard to create an exclusive Terran territory. In the history of Haotian City, countless world wars have taken place. Under the surrounding land, countless corpses have been piled up. It can be said that this ancient city of the human race is piled up with blood and corpses, which is the highest glory of the human race. Although in the 3000 world, all the major cities of the Terran people had to bow to other tribes, but Haotian City was the strongest. It did not accept any humiliation. It was typical that they would not accept any humiliation and would not die. Other clans tried to win Haotian City many times, to wear down the resistance will of the Terrans, but several attacks brought huge casualties, and finally they couldn't bear it, so they could not afford to consume it. Finally, Haotian City was preserved. Although 3 of the 10 ancient cities in the 3000 world belong to the Terrans, only Haotian City is a city that refuses any foreigners to enter. It can be said that Haotian City is unique among all the Terran cities. If the strong Terrans come here, they can live here for a long time as long as they don't violate the rules and pay the city tax, and they don't have to worry about security. Therefore, this city is the most populous of all the Terran cities. If the population is large, it will be easier to select the elite. If the elite is strong enough, it will be included in Haotian army. There are 30 million people in Haotian army. No matter soldiers or soldiers, they will be assessed every 6 months. Those who are lower in rank will be eliminated from Haotian army. Only in this way, those excellent people in the city will strive for these places. Under such a cycle, the internal competition of Haotian army is very fierce, which also maintains the great strength of Haotian army. There are 30 million Haotian legions, and no one dares to act wild in Haotian City. Therefore, even the powerful demons dare to stop people outside the city. If Emonien enters the city, they can only leave obediently and dare to fart more, which may lead to death. You are very angry. In fact, your ancestors were predestined with me. Now that the fate has ended, even if you are trying to retain them, it will be useless. In the face of the demons strong to eat people's eyes, Emonien is very calm and polite. You fart so much, you blaspheme our ancestors, exposed our ancestors' bones in the wilderness, and wiped out all the treasures in the tombs, which is also fate? The demon god respected the strong and swore. His voice was so loud that he attracted countless people's eyes. Long Chen knew that these people were afraid of Heoshenqing's attack on them. They had to show their reasons first. It was Emonien who provoked them first. They had a reason to do so. Moreover, they started outside the city and did not break the rules of Haotian City. They also showed respect for Haotian City. Emonien shook his head and said innocently, "Your ancestors, the bones are buried underground, the tombs are damp and moldy, and the bones are rotten. They'll pull them out to bask in the sun. It's also a good intention. Why do you wronged good people, wronging good people you?" The strong man of the demon clan trembled with anger, as if he had never seen such a shameless person in his life. Don't talk nonsense to him, give up the Zenhunzu, or you will die today without a burial place. Another demon god respected the strong, holding a magic weapon, pointing to Emonien and roaring. Zenhunzu? Dragon Dust suddenly understood why these powerful demons pursued Emonien so angrily. The Zenhunzu in the tombs is the place where the ancestors' souls inhabit and where the strength of the clan's faith is condensed. In the fairyland, the beliefs of many races are often their ancestors, and so are the Terrans. They worship the memorial tablets of their ancestors, support the spirits of their ancestors, nourish the immortality of the spirits with the power of faith, suppress the fate of the people and help them wake up. Emonien even picked out the ancestral tombs and stole the soul beads. No wonder these powerful demons would risk running to Haotian City to intercept Emonien. That's not true. Friends of Taoism, This treasure is related to me. Please don't embarrass me. Mo read a light look, shaking his head, as if he did not do anything wrong. Do it together, kill him. Seeing Mo Nyen still pretending to be innocent here, these powerful demons are going to explode in their lungs. The first one, a God-respected strong man, roared and directly launched. With him, other people also started. More than a dozen powerful gods flew up. At the same time, hundreds of powerful immortal kings of the demon clan also flew up to seal the heaven and earth, and gave Mo Nyen no chance to escape. Boss, let's go together. Jiang Lei sees the situation in a hurry. There's no need. This sack is very strong. Long Chen shakes his head. For Mo Nyen, he knows too well, if there is no absolute strength, he would have run. This guy's escape skill is unparalleled in the world. Since he dares to stay, it shows that he is absolutely sure. Boom! At this time, there was a shocking explosion, and those who rushed to Mo Nyen were shaken off one after another. Those who were the first to rush to the god's Zun state were in a state of blood gushing and tumbling in confusion. The scene was extremely frightening. Violent waves swept all over the world, and a sacred and solemn atmosphere radiated. Behind Mo Nyen, a huge palace appeared. The palace was solemn and magnificent. Every brick and tile on the palace was full of heavenly power. It seemed to be a world. It's a vision of Mo Nyen. Once the vision comes out, it oppresses thousands of ways. Even those who are strong in the divine realm are shocked to vomit blood by the breath, and the dragon dust is scared. How can this Sawbao have such a terrible vision? Click, click. As soon as the vision came out, the universe trembled, but what people didn't expect was that Mo Nyen didn't attack, and he took out a shovel and dug a hole in the ground. Those powerful demons were frightened and angry, and saw Mo Nyen digging a hole for himself. A powerful demon roared, holding a magic sword. He opened the void of thousands of miles and chopped at Mo Nyen. Mo Nyen's figure disappeared, and then appeared on the top of the man's head in people's frightened eyes and slapped it with an iron shovel. Boom! The man was shot with broken bones and tendons, and he was killed on the spot. His body fell into the pit dug by Mo Nyen. Just at the moment when everyone was shocked, Mo Nyen suddenly appeared beside another demon god who had a strong state of respect and was shot down with a shovel. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3791, Bang! The powerful man of the demon clan was hit by a spade, and suddenly he became stiff and flew straight into the pit dug by Mo Nyen. When his body fell to the ground, his life wave had completely disappeared and he died. Long Chen was startled. Before Mo Nyen's attack, he killed the powerful one of the demon gods. Long Chen was not surprised, but the shovel didn't seem to have much power. After the man was photographed, he was completely destroyed. Bam bang bang. Mo Nyen's body shook like a ghost. He killed 7 powerful people in God's kingdom. The faces of those powerful demons changed greatly. At this time, they found that the ugly-looking guy was a terrible monster. Escape. When a person with a strong divine dignity sees that the situation is not good, he drinks hard and takes the lead in escaping. Suddenly, the shovel in Mo Nyen's hand disappeared, and a long black bow appeared. The bow was simple in shape and covered with black scales. There were 9 snake heads on the bow, 4 on one side and 1 in the middle. When Mo Nyen pulled the bow string, the black scales on the bow burst out black ripples, and a black arrow condensed on the bow. At that moment, the sky changed color. It seemed that the sunny sky was covered by a black curtain. The cold air of death pervaded the whole world, and the whole world's life was absorbed completely. Hiss! All of a sudden, Mo read the bow string and a black lightning flew out. It just broke away from the bow string and split into hundreds of arrows in an instant. Puff puff. Dow dow arrows, in the void across a strange arc, through the body of all the powerful demons. The moment those strong demons planted arrows, their bodies suddenly became stiff and fell from the air. Bam bang bang. Mo Nyen's long bow was replaced by a shovel, one by one. Before the bodies of those people fell to the ground, they were photographed into the pit he had dug before. Emo Nien shovels several times, burying the bodies of these people with skillful posture and quick movements. It can restore the ground to level as if nothing has happened. After that, Emo Nien took out a cloth bag and walked around the land. He grabbed a bag in the bag and lifted it to the sky. He said in a voice, "The dust returns to the dust, the earth returns to the earth. If you want the sea to sink and float, all living beings will suffer. Today I will send you to Huangquan. This is the life of sin. The road to Huangquan is very difficult. The 3 roads go southwest, and the road ahead is straight ahead. Don't look back. From now on, there will be no more return." Crash. Emo Nien finished, the things in his hands, slowly falling, turned out to be yellow paper money, this guy actually in the super pass of these people who were killed by him. If he hadn't seen him killing people and robbing these people's weapons and treasures before, he would have been easily deceived by him just by looking at the compassionate look on his face, thinking that he was a virtuous man. And ask the Taoist master in front of you. If you are so transcendent, you may be able to rest in peace and enjoy eternal happiness? The dragon dust came over and looked at Emo Nien with a smile. He couldn't help laughing. When Emo Nien heard the voice, he shook his body and turned to look at Long Chen. His eyes were wide open and his eyes were full of surprise. However, he soon suppressed his emotions and said with a straight face, "Your words are not right. We who practice Taoism are living people. Our sins have already been born. Karma will not be eliminated. We will always follow them. Only the living will have them the opportunity to reform and to reduce the barriers of karma. To put it bluntly, it's for the dead and for the living?" Long Chen skimmed his mouth. "You are very intelligent and admirable. I see that you are gifted and have a good skeleton. I want to cooperate with you. Would you be interested in it?" Emo read before also serious, but after 2 words, showed a face of obscenity. Ha ha ha. The 2 looked at each other and laughed at the same time. They hugged each other fiercely, their faces excited and finally met again. Emo Nien and the dragon blood soldiers, one after another to a fierce embrace, to see Tianwu old friends, very kind. "You wait for me, the ceremony is not over, it's almost the last step, it will be ready soon." Emo Nien finished, around the place where the corpse was buried, turned 3 times to the left and 3 times to the right. He said something in his mouth and said a lot of words before it was over. What the hell? So much trouble? Long Chen does not understand the tunnel. Not so much? It's really troublesome. After killing people, they have to bury them to escape their souls. This is the rule of our infinite palace, which can't be ignored. So I seldom kill people. I don't want to kill them. I still envy you. We can't kill them by killing them or burying them. We can't kill people, bury people and surpass others. It's very troublesome. Emo Nien stands out, a face-helpless tunnel. However, soon, Emo Nien said with a triumphant face, "Long Chen, this time in the fairyland, my Emo Nien's fame is better than you. Now I am the next leader of Wuliang Palace, and I have awakened to the infinite vision of Xiangong. From now on, you will follow your brother to make sure that you enjoy the food and drink spicy food." Long Chen smiles. Emo Nien's character doesn't change at all. In Tianwu land, he is fighting with himself secretly to fight for the non-existent Tianwu first. Now entering the fairyland, this guy is really not lax at all, to be famous on his head. "Emo Nien, you son of a bitch, killing 1,000 knives of cattle." Emo Nien has just finished his arrogant words, and suddenly countless strong people in the distance rush in like the tide. There are almost millions of strong people from all ethnic groups. There are no less than 100 strong people who respect the land of Light God. "Run, go to town." Emo Nien jumped up directly, patted his buttocks, and went straight to the ancient city. "Don't you say that if you mix with me, you can enjoy the delicious food and drink the spicy food? What is the situation?" Long Chen follows Emo Nien's side, does not have good breath tunnel, this cow force just finished blowing, was hit in the face? There's no problem eating, drinking, nothing else. Emo Nien is bold and shameless. "Hold grass, You can say such shameless words? Well, you are better than you used to be. Long Chen didn't have a good breath. At this time, the people behind him were gnashing their teeth, as if they had the hatred of killing his father and robbing his wife with Yen. What's the situation? They hate you so much? Long Chen does not understand the tunnel. Who knows, you know what I'm like. I'm not interested in anything other than digging up historical sites, exploring ancient secrets, and inheriting the way of heaven. Yen is a little shy. Hearing this, Long Chen understood that Yen must have dug the ancestral graves of these people. However, among those people, there are at least hundreds of races. Long Chen does not know how many ancestral graves Yen has dug, which leads to so many people to pursue him. Suddenly, the light trembled above Haotian City, and countless sharp blades were aimed at the outside of the city. Someone said coldly, "In front of Haotian City, the alien people should stop, or they will be killed." The man stopped drinking, and the endless strong man could only stop. Finally, dragon dust and Yen entered Haotian City in the curse of countless people. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3792. From Haotian City, there is still a distance, but these foreign strong people dare not move. They roared, drank, and cursed Yen crazily, but they did not dare to cross the thunder pool one step, and finally had no choice but to disperse. See those people leave. Yang this just was relieved, and then recovered as if nothing had happened. It seems that in the 3000 world, you are very diligent and work overtime day and night. Long Chen has some speechless tunnel. How long has it been since he entered the 3000 world that Yen has been chased by so many forces? This guy must not be idle. I'm flattered, I'm flattered. Yang, with a smile, has a trace of satisfaction in his eyes. When Long Chen and others came to the gate of the city, they were registered by the powerful god worshippers. At the same time, they asked them many questions. These questions were similar to a kind of assessment. They could only be answered directly without hesitation. After asking a few questions, Long Chen and others got the identity plate one after another, and Yen had the nameplate of Haotian City for a long time. According to the rules of Haotian City, everyone has to pay a city tax of 100,000 immortal Wangjing, which is a very heavy tax. Especially for people like Long Chen who only live in Haotian City temporarily, it can be said that it is a bit of killing people. This is the rule of Haotian City. You have to pay heavy taxes when you enter the city. However, Haotian City will give you an absolutely safe environment. Compared with safety, this money is nothing. Moreover, even the Terrans may not be eligible to enter the city. If they answer questions at the gate and fail to pass, they will also be expelled. No matter how much money they have, they will not be able to enter the city. In fact, the question at the door is a kind of test, which is used to observe a person's character, and most importantly, to see if the person has a rebellious heart. Long Chen and others easily passed the test and got the identity plate. Yen was very generous. He paid the city tax at 10 times the price. In Yen's words, he is just a passerby. He can't do anything for the people here. It's not worth mentioning. Yen's generosity attracted the two gods to express their gratitude. Although money is nothing, his mind for Yen is still very admirable. In particular, before Yen killed so many strong people, they all saw that Yen was so terrible, but he didn't have a bit of airs and could think about the human race. It was very comfortable for them. The two old men also sent people to guide them. At the same time, they introduced some taboos of Haotian City for Long Chen and others. Originally, these taboos were depicted on the back of the identity plate for others to study. This is a kind of generous feedback to Yen. After entering the city, Long Chen found that the ancient city was bigger than he expected. In addition to Xiantiandu, Long Chen had never seen such a huge city. However, although the purple sky is big, it has become a piece of ruins, and there are endless buildings here, giving people a very shocking feeling. Let's go, brother. Let's get you out of here. Yen into the city, As if to their own home in general, light car familiar, take the city transmission array, came to the city's most luxurious and lively section. Haotian City is divided into many areas. There are special training areas, trade areas, battle arena areas, and eating, drinking, and playing areas. In short, everything is in order. There are strict laws and regulations for people here. No one dares to make fun of here. You know, this is the only pure land of human race in 3,000 worlds. If you are expelled from here, you will lose the qualification to enter Haotian City forever. Therefore, when you come here, everyone abides by the law and dare not do anything wrong. Therefore, the outside of the city is bloody, but the city is a peaceful and prosperous period. It is simply two worlds. It's a wonderful place when we can build a world like this, carefree and peaceful forever. Jiang Lei can't help but sigh that the peaceful and prosperous times here, in their view, is already a paradise. The so-called peaceful and prosperous times are all based on the sacrifice of countless powerful people. What we see in the peaceful and prosperous times is the exchange of life by countless powerful people. The world is full of darkness. Some unknown heroes block the darkness with life and blood, so that the people in the city can enjoy the sunshine. Brother Yunshang, Brother Qingshu, Brother Moli, Sister Hanwei, Brother Xing, the old man, the leader of Chu League, elder brother Ling Yunzi, Hu Feng, as well as our brothers of Dragon Blood, as well as the hundreds of millions of soldiers who died in the final battle of Tianwu continent, their purpose is to leave people with such a peaceful world. Seeing the joy and serenity on people's faces in Haotian City, Long Chen sighed. When Long Chen mentioned these people, Mo Nian, Jiang Lei and so on, their eyes were red. Too many people died in the Tianwu mainland war, and they did not dare to recall. We work so hard to let our closest relatives live happily like them, and I believe that those who die can also smile. Mo Nian sighed. All right, don't talk about it. It's not easy for us to meet and say something happy. Mo Nian patted Long Chen on the shoulder. He knew that the war had dealt the greatest blow to Long Chen. He did not want to let Long Chen continue to fall into grief. Brother has prepared a big gift for you. Let's go now. Seeing the peace and prosperity in front of him, Long Chen can't help but think of his old friend Tianwu. His heart is full of sadness. Seeing Mo Nian say this, he takes a deep breath and depresses his heart. Big gift? Have you found a baby in the ground? Long Chen can't help joking. Look down on me, don't you? Your tone, obviously, is not very respectful of my profession. Mo Nian pretended to be unhappy and said, Anyway, I am also the future master of Wuliang Palace. Our brothers are brothers. You should respect my profession. By the way, the Wuliang Palace where you are, but the Wuliang Palace of the 5 palaces and 8 gates in the legend? Dragon Dust suddenly positive colorway. What 5 palaces and 8 gates? Mo Nian is in a fog. According to the mythological stories, there are 5 palaces outside the world of 9 days, namely, the 5 palaces, the Lingshao Palace in the Middle Palace, the Yushu Palace in the South Palace and Wuliang in the North Palace. Yushu Palace is the South Palace. It is the main gate of the Heavenly Palace and the Gate of Life. It corresponds to the Wuliang Palace, which is the Gate of Death. The 8 gates are rest, life, injury, du, jing, death, shock and opening. They are also called Dark 8 diagrams, which correspond with Qian, Qin, Zhen, Jin, Sun, Li, Kuan and Dui in the 8 diagrams hold the grass. You don't know nothing. Mo read a face muddled forced color, Dragon Dust also muddled force. I don't know. Mo Nian glared at his eyes. Don't you say you are the future master of Wuliang Palace? You don't even know the origin of your family? Long Chen is speechless. There are only 2 children in Wuliang Palace. The insidious old man didn't tell me anything. He left me a few things and left me to die. Mentioning that old guy, Mo Nian gnaws his teeth. Brother, are you talking about the Palace of Infinity? Mo Nian is not as erudite as Long Chen. He doesn't know about the 5 palaces and 8 gates, but his serious face makes him crazy. If you are in the House of Infinity, which is what I call the Infinity, I will mix with you in the future. Long Chen has a serious face. If Mo Nian is really related to the existence in the mythical age, this guy will be really strong. Ha ha ha. Mo Nian ha 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 smile, wish to embrace dragon dust kiss. My luck has always been good, I want to surpass you, and you have always been bad luck. Then my infinite palace, I am afraid it is the existence of the legend. With these words, they came to a palace-like building in front of them. There were two beautiful maids standing at the door. Seeing the arrival of Mo Nian, they bowed down to Mo Nian and led them into the hall. At the moment of entering the hall, Longchen, Jiang Lei and all the dragon blood soldiers all cried out in surprise. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 3793. In the main hall, more than 200 people were talking enthusiastically when they suddenly saw the dragon dust and others coming in. The eyes of these strong men turned red in an instant, and some people were crying. Boss! All of them were dragon blood soldiers. Long Chun couldn't believe his eyes. He hugged and cried with these soldiers. Every soldier was so excited that he was afraid it was a dream. Okay, it's almost okay. Today is the great day for the Dragon Blood Army. I'm here to do the east, and I'm going to clean up the dust for you. Mo Nian called. With these words, dozens of beautiful maids came up and led the way to the top of the palace, which was a huge banquet hall. In the banquet hall, it is extremely luxurious. Even the carpet is paved with the fur of the beast in the divine realm. The materials on the pillars and walls are all made of the finest gold. When you enter the hall, the atmosphere of luxury comes to your face. The scene is shocking. The table has been set, and the delicacies have just come up. Almost all of them are treasures that Longchen has never seen before. From delicacies to porcelain plates, to bowls and chopsticks, and even the chopsticks rack are made of materials made of boundary artifact. It is exquisite to the extreme, and luxurious to the extreme. It can be seen that Mo Nian really uses his mind. Yes, brother. Longchen is a little moved. It's a small thing. I've wrapped up the whole palace. You have to arrange a decent place for the reunion of the Dragon Blood Army. There must be a front row. Mo Nian laughs and complacent. You've wrapped up the whole palace? How much does it cost? Jiang Lei was startled. It's a small thing. It's just the rent of 100 million immortal Wangjing a day. I've reserved it for a month, and am sure you can come here in a month. I left such obvious marks and cast nets everywhere. If you can't find it, haha, it's stupid. Mo Nian said with a smile. Long Chin is embarrassed for a while. In the purple sky, he has seen some people beating gongs and drums, but he really didn't pay attention to it. Feeling, are you rich? I just want to borrow from you. Long Chen was not polite and directly sat down. Hey, it's nothing. Brothers, today we Dragon Blood Army gathered together, we must have a good drink. Mo Nian raised his glass. The crowd cheered, but Long Chen waved his hand and motioned for everyone to put down their glasses. You must drink well when you drink. After finishing, Long Chen took out the wine from the Dionysian palace directly. When the wine jar was opened, the fragrance of wine came to his face. The mellow fragrance made the Dragon Blood soldiers couldn't help drooling. The Dragon Blood Legion are basically good drinkers. When they smell the wine, they are all hooked out. They'll go. It's definitely the wine of Dionysian palace. I won't say anything more. I don't want you to see each other and share half of it. It's not too much. Mo Niang looked at the wine, and her eyes would stare out. Mo Nian also likes fine wine. He has collected a lot of good wine, but no matter how beautiful the wine is, it can't be compared with the wine in the Dionysian palace. Mo Nian once got 3 jars of wine from the Dionysian palace in a tomb. As a result, he only drank half of it. The rest was stolen by his master's immoral Taoist. Mo Nian turned over his face on the spot. However, the immoral Taoist is so immoral that he steals all the good wine that he didn't want to drink, and doesn't return a drop to him. Now when he sees the wine of Dionysian palace, Missouri Nian is not calm at all. In a word, come on, brothers. For our reunion, we'll be drunk today. Long Chin took out hundreds of jars of wine in one breath, and they all let go. Bowl after bowl of wine, these brothers of life and death did not tell their past, no one said that they had suffered, their communication, only a look, and then it is a drink. After drinking the wine all day and night, the rest of the people were lying on the ground and sleeping. In the end, only Longchen and Malyan were still drinking. However, they both drank too much, their tongues were swollen and their words were vague. Both of them told their own experiences. Emon was very lucky. With the guidance of the immoral Taoist, he quickly adapted to the kung-fu of Wuliang Palace. His accomplishments went thousands of miles and soared to the fairyland. However, Emon also had his own distress. The immoral Taoist handed him 3 treasures, a pair of boots, a helmet, and a shovel. At first, Emon thought that the immoral Taoist was digging him. Later, he realized that all the 3 things were treasures. But these 3 kinds of treasures must absorb the spirit of death in the cemetery so that they can become stronger and stronger. Fortunately, Emon is engaged in this field in Tianwu continent and has rich experience. In terms of tomb theft, he can say that he draws inferences from other examples and knows 10 things from one instance. He is quite superior to the blue in fighting. But what Emon hated most was that his evil master would visit him from time to time. Every time he visited him, he would steal all his treasures. No matter how Emon can guard against it, even the things hidden in the space of stars can be stolen by immoral Taoists. Every time we meet, we will ransack him. Emon would like to strangle this shameless old thing. However, the cultivation of the immoral Taoist has always been a mystery. No matter how fast Emon grows, the immoral Taoist can always suppress him. Emon is made to be obedient by the immoral Taoist. No, Emon had just been separated from the immoral Taoist for some time, and he had a lot of savings in his hand. It can be said that Emon work brought money very quickly. There are too many treasures in various tombs. However, Emon was angry at the thought that he would be robbed when he met an immoral Taoist. On the one hand, he contracted the whole palace for the sake of face and ostentation, but the bigger reason was that he would rather spend it himself than be robbed by the immoral Taoist. When Emon asked about the experience of Longchen, he found that his misfortune was much happier than Longchen. "Brother, I can see that bad luck has taken root in you. You are so lucky that you have caught up with everything." Emon and Longchen touched a cup and drank it down. This cup was regarded as a pity for the bad luck of Longchen. "I've been used to it for a long time, but it doesn't matter. Bad luck is not all bad things. At least I know many friends. Big brother Xia Guhong and brother Wu Tian are heroes of the world. If I have a chance, I will introduce you." Dragon Dust Road. "Xia Guhong, I've heard that it's an absolute hero. If you have a chance, you have to drink one." Referring to Xia Guhong, Mo read a thumb. "By the way, have you found Lu Zongying?" Longchen asked. When Lu Zongying was mentioned, Emonyen's face showed a look of anger. Longchen was startled. Emonyen waved his hand and said, "Don't get me wrong. She's okay. I haven't found her yet. I'm annoyed that my immoral master has figured out where she is, but she won't tell me. I travel from day to day, doing archaeology and looking for her, but there is no news. Do you think it's irritating to have such an asshole master? If I had such an asshole master, I'd slap him to death." Longchen also drank too much, see Emonyen to say so, follow indignant tunnel. "Brother, do you remember the big deal I told you before?" Emonyen looked around and whispered. Bang! The cup in Longchen's hand fell on the table. "You want to www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.